Fair use, commentary and criticism, Ringo TV reactions. Let's go. So, we're back again. Time to get to work. Brandon Smiley. Respond to family allegations of causing his nephew's death over cutting his locks. Yeah, that's right. We got to examine the tapes. Now, those of you that watched my stream earlier, if you notice at the funeral, Rickey Smiley had nothing to say regarding his son. He was cold-hearted. A lot of the people are totally delusional. I receive a lot of comments of people that have no brain cells whatsoever. All I get is comments of, everyone grieves differently, a bunch of nut jobs, right? Imagine you have all this emotion that you are providing for Rickey Smiley, but he's not even crying at all, but you are, right? So now we got to examine the tapes because a young man died and the family of Rickey Smiley gave him some pushback. And Rickey Smiley responded to the woman that's on the screen. We're going to hear what she got to say. We're going to examine the tapes. We're going to find out what Mr. Smiley had to say because he have a few videos. We're going to examine two different videos because he made this particular video here as well as another video. Yeah, that's right. He made two videos. I'm pretty sure there's more. At the same time, we're going to look at the tapes and try to figure out, was he the cause of the young man's death? We're going to find out how he's using his son, I believe his name is Malik, how he coerced him to, I guess, give some good words to protect daddy for the public. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all of this is on public platforms because Mr. Smiley enjoys posting videos every minute about his family's business. You would think that a grown man of his age would have a little more character to understand that your family business is your family's business. When you put it on social media, now it becomes my business. Now I'm going to use it for content. And being that Brandon was sacrificed, it's very evident and clear that he was a blood sacrifice because nobody's talking about how the young man died. Everybody's making up stories. One person says he got shot. Another person says, he was found unresponsive. There are rumors he OD'd. See, nobody don't know how he died because the father is not being responsible on letting the public know exactly how the young man died. So I have a bunch of people that keep following me around from Rickey's camp that are just emotional. Nobody's trying to learn anything. Nobody's trying to put the pieces together. Nobody's concerned that Brandon died. I mean, the majority of people that view me that are Rickey Smiley fans, they don't care about Brandon. They never did. They never cared about him. They care about Rickey Smiley. They don't care about Brandon Smiley. They could give a damn if he died. Their job is to protect the image of Rickey Smiley, and they don't want his name to be associated with anything that's negative because they worship him, just like a pastor. What you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a person who claim to follow God and you refuse to listen to the details and the facts of the matter on how Brandon died, do you realize you're going to face judgment for that? Do you realize that by you running around social media, putting all your energy into defending Rickey Smiley and protecting him when his son was murdered, and you don't care about that, you're a sick individual. That means that if something happened to one of your family members, you don't care. That means if one of your brothers turned up dead in an alley, you're the kind of person who'll be like, hey, I don't care how he died. Let's just have a funeral and start clapping. That's the kind of person you are? Really? So if your mother died today, you don't care how she died. If she just died, she died, right? Oh, my mother died. How did she die? Oh, I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to celebrate at a funeral. You're a sick individual if that's how you think. Your father died. How did daddy die? We don't need to know, y'all. We don't need to know how he died. Who cares? Let's just start singing and dancing. Let's give him a homegoing celebration. I had some nut job come into my comment section telling me that the Bible says that you're supposed to sing and dance and jump around a church because the scripture says that you're supposed to have a going home celebration. There is no scripture in the Bible that tells you to have a going home celebration. What are you talking about? There is no scripture in the Bible that tell you to go to a church, start playing a bunch of music, singing, dancing, having the organ cranked up, bringing in different guests, and start singing. There is not one scripture in the Bible. The Messiah told the man that said, hey, Messiah, I'm going to go bury my father. The Messiah said, leave him alone. Come follow me. Let the dead bury their dead. That's what the Messiah said. He did not tell you to go attend a concert. He did not tell you to go to the circus. There is no such thing as a going home celebration. Who told you you going to heaven? Who told you when you die, you going straight to heaven? How? The dead in Christ have not risen yet. How do you know you're going to heaven? Is your name written in the Lamb's book of life? Have you kept the commandments of the Most High? No. You don't have a clue. Nobody don't know where they're going when they die. You better just pray that you're going to make it to the kingdom. You better pray. When you read the Bible, it talks about the Lamb's book of life. And those that are in that book are the ones who kept his commandments. So if you're just religious and you ain't following the Most High, you ain't going to no heaven. So there is no going home celebration. What going home? Hey, brother, look down on me. Keep your eye on me and my family. Where in the scripture does it tell you that family members are keeping their eyes on you? Where in the Bible does it say when your relatives die that they're keeping their eyes on you, watching over you? Now you're worshiping man now. Now, what does the Bible tell you about worshiping things on the earth, above the earth, or beneath the earth? That's idolatry. To even claim that your brother, sister, nephew, aunt, mother, father is looking down and watching over you now? What? The Bible don't say that. Remember the rich young ruler that cried out and said, Father Abraham, could you send my nephew to tell the family that hell is real? He said, no. If they're not going to believe the preachers and the prophets, then they ain't got nothing else. It is what it is. If you don't believe, you're going to go to hell. That's where you're going to wake up at. A lot of people, when they die, they go to hell. That's where they go to. Those that are in the Messiah, in Christ, they go into Abraham's bosom, awaiting judgment. So that when the dead in Christ arise, then everything will come to pass. And also, there is no such thing as a rapture. There is no such thing as a rapture. That is a lie. Do you understand me? A lie. Y'all can watch all the Left Behind movies you want. It's a lie. None of it. The Bible does not teach that. This is what you get from religion. This is why I left the religion of Christianity, because all they do is teach you lies. I had to read the Bible for myself to learn what it says, because the pork chop eating pastor didn't know nothing. The Bible tells you not to eat swine, not to eat pork, not to eat crab, not to eat shrimp. But what does the church says? It's okay to eat it. It's perfectly okay. Got these people in the church believing they're going to escape some sort of tribulation. You ain't escaping nothing. The scripture says you're going to be like literally material tested in fire, but you trying to escape. Haha, you ain't escaping nothing. It's either you keep the commandments of the Most High or you're going to wake up and eternally in hell. It's just that simple. See, your pastor not going to tell you that straight. You know why? Because if your pastor tell you what I'm telling you, you're not going to give no tithes and offerings. Are you seeing the difference? See, if you came to a church, let's say I had a church and I got up as soon as you walked in with your nice clothes, your church clothes, and I say, as soon as you walk in and sit down, and I say, if you're sinning, if you're disobeying God, you're going to hell, you're not going to heaven. You're going to get up and leave the church and never come back. You know why? I did not tickle your ears. See, the majority of folks today don't want the truth. They want lies. They want somebody to tickle their ears, tell them they're beautiful, tell them they're good, tell them they're righteous when they're living in sin all day. That's it. So enough of the preaching for now. I'll do that another time. But I can guarantee you, if you came to a church that I owned, if I owned the church, you ain't going to be giving no offerings. I can tell you that. Even though I don't believe in no tithing doctrine, you would never donate $1 because you'll be in your feelings. And you'll be like, I cannot join this church. Y'all mean. Y'all not showing no love. Notice, I'm not showing love by telling them the truth. Here I am telling them the truth that if they continue in their sin, they're going to hell, but they look at me and tell me I'm being mean. See, you don't want the truth. Just be honest. You don't want the truth. This is why you go to churches that play music all day. This is why you go to pastors that tickle your ears all day, because they never challenge you. They never challenge you to do what you need to do. It's just like somebody trying to get in shape, wanting to lose weight, wanting to get physically fit. It takes work to get there. You ain't gonna get there with a pop a pill. You ain't gonna get there by just, buying some ab workout and you're gonna lose your gut. No, it's not gonna happen like that. You gotta put in the work. You gotta go through a lot of pain. And that's something people don't wanna deal with. They don't wanna deal with no pain and they don't want the truth. So I'm here to give you the truth. So if you're joining the stream right now, make sure you get the likes up. Click that like button one time, because we're about to break down 2 videos to find out whether whether Rickey Smiley, I think I messed up the title. Let me see if I did this correctly. Hold on a second. Rickey Smiley, let me correct the title. Rickey Smiley respond. Let me see. Rickey Smiley responds to family members. Okay, it's corrected now. Rickey Smiley respond to family allegations. These are allegations that this woman brought forth about Rickey Smiley allegedly having something to do with the nephew dying. We're going to find out from Rickey himself if this be true. You understand? Yeah, I know Rickey did not like Brandon. I know that's true. The thing is, I try to teach the public exactly what's going on, but they don't want to hear it. They want to say that I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Leave him alone. He's grieving. He's mourning, but he's at a and here's this, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you claim that Rickey Smiley was like the funeral, that it was a homegoing celebration, right? That's what y'all said, right? Y'all said it was a homegoing celebration, that it was a funeral, right? That's what they say, right? Okay, let me prove something to you right now. Let me see if I can do this real quick, because I want to show you from the horse's mouth that a lot of folks that believe these lies have lost their mind. Let me do something real quick. Let me see if I can do this real fast. Hold on a second. A little editing. Hold on. Let me see how I can do this, because I want you to see this, because I'm going to review this particular video, but I want to hear it. I want you to hear it for yourself so that you know that I didn't make this up, right? So let's take this, drop this in there. Let's pause that. Let me do this. Okay, now hold on. Now watch this. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, they said that Rickey Smiley, the service that happened was a homegoing celebration. That's what y'all said, right? Okay, let's see if that's true. Let's see if it's true Let's hear from Rickey Smiley himself to see if he agreed with you. Because that was not a funeral. And that was not a homegoing service, even though I don't believe in none of those things. The Messiah didn't tell you to have a homegoing service or a celebration. There's nowhere in the Bible where anybody celebrated death like it's a party in a circus. No. Now, let me see. Let me get this thing tuned up. Hold on a second. Let me see where we at. Okay. All right. Everything looks good. All right. Let me see if I can play this thing now, because I want to hear it from Rickey Smiley so that we can prove something once and for all.
Boy, when I tell you I'm petty and stressing, so today is the day of Brandon's standing ovation. Notice I didn't say funeral or homegoing service. Standing ovation.
Did you hear that? Listen again. For all you clowns out there,
boy, when
listen
I
again.
tell you I'm petty and stressing.
Listen.
So today
is what?
Is the day.
What day?
Of Brandon's standing ovation.
His standing ovation. His standing ovation. He ain't say funeral. He said standing ovation. What else?
Notice I didn't say funeral.
He said, notice I didn't say funeral.
Or homegoing service.
Or homegoing service. Notice what he said. This is his standing ovation. Not a funeral, not a homegoing service. So to all you clowns that keep coming here telling me about a homegoing service, sit down. You heard it right there from the horse's mouth that it was not a funeral and it was not a homegoing service. Listen again before we begin what we got to do with here. Let's go.
Boy, when I tell you I'm petty and stressing, so today is the day.
What day, sir?
Brandon's standing ovation.
You're giving a young man a standing ovation after he died. It's almost like you're selling that you're laughing at the man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a standing ovation. That's a standing ovation, y'all. Are you seeing this? So he's basically saying that Brandon's service was not a funeral. And it wasn't a homegoing celebration like the religious folks think. See, a lot of you folks out there are deceived. You keep getting mad at me, but you watch me 24 hours a day. This man just said that it's what, sir? Let me see. What did he say it was again?
So today is the day of
what?
Brandon's standing ovation.
Standing ovation.
Notice I didn't say funeral.
Wow.
Or homegoing service.
Or homegoing service. That's all I needed to know, fam. That's all I needed to know. That's that. Again, only on Ringo TV Reactions do we bring out the receipts and we prove all things. The Bible says to prove all things, hold that which is good. That is what the scriptures teach, and I just did that. So, to all the religious folks who keep talking about how that service was a homegoing service, you're lying. That's not what it was. And Rickey Smiley clearly told you that it was not a homegoing service and it was not a funeral. He called it a standing ovation. That's what he said. So tell me I'm lying now. Tell me I'm lying now. Come in here and tell me that it's a so-called homegoing celebration. He never said it's that. And that's the Father that said it. It came right from his mouth, right from the source. So don't come into my platform telling me that was a homegoing service and how the Bible says that you're supposed to sing and dance at a funeral. The Bible never told you that. There is not one scripture in the Bible that tells you that when you die, we're supposed to have a homegoing service. Because ain't nobody go to heaven right after they die. It's nowhere in the scriptures. Nowhere in the scriptures does it say when a person died, they just went to heaven. No, it's not in the book. And these are the lies that they tell you in these churches. Now, let's break down this video and see what we got here. Cause this is crazy, fam. This is one of them kind of videos that we gotta break down to get the truth. Did Rickey Smiley have something to do with the death of Bird? Did he have something to do? Because this lady is bringing allegations against Rickey Smiley, and we want to prove and find out if she be true or if Rickey Smiley is true. Let's find out what's going on, fam. Let's get into this. Oh, let me get the volume. Volume is down. I got you. Let's get that volume nice and high. Let's go.
It was a video sent to us by Rickey Smiley. That's who he was referring to in his video, my brother. We know Rickey through marriage. My mom was married to his uncle.
She said,
so that's how.
She said her mom was married to his uncle. Her mom was married to his uncle. And that is how she or her family got connected. That's basically what she just said.
Our families became connected. And growing up, Ron was exposed to a different side. He was in Rickey's life, and
she said that Ron was exposed to a different life, talking about Ron Bird, the brother that passed away. She's referring to, I believe, that young man right there. That's who she's referring to. Right? Okay. Again, we're doing this for the court of public opinion. We're holding Rickey Smiley to public scrutiny to examine the case.
Whatever. So they had their own connection. And for whatever reason it went wrong. And Ron was no longer around Rickey and all things that came with Rickey. And my brother never got over that.
Wow.
He never recovered from that. For whatever it was, I don't know the connection or what he looked up to Rickey. He never recovered from that. And it played on him mentally. He was always in this state of trying to please him.
Wow. He was always in the state of trying to please Rickey Smiley. Now, y'all got to picture the psychological damage that happened to this young brother. This brother was in a constant state of fear, of constantly trying to prove himself to Rickey Smiley, trying to live up to this example that Rickey kept pressuring him to become. And the brother was in deep depression, struggling, popping pills because he couldn't deal with the anxiety and the grief. These are the things that this young man was dealing with. And the young lady is pouring out her heart because that's supposed to be her relative. I believe that's her brother. Let's go.
And do things the way he wanted to even do it. And my brother did not want to cut his hair.
Wow.
And he didn't have to cut his hair to get a job. Because the same God that put you there and got you believing that whatever how you made it would have done it for my brother. With his dreadlocks and all.
Do you see what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? Again, if you're now joining in the stream, this young man right here was pressured and forced by Rickey Smiley to cut his locks in order to get a job. That's right. Not because the job required it. It was Rickey that required it. And Rickey gave him an ultimatum. In other words, if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're not going to be in my good wishes. And basically, the circumstances led the brother to pop some pills, and he's no longer with us because of the stress. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And the same thing happened to Brandon because he was disowned by the family. They're not telling you the truth. That so-called standing ovation service was, in my humble opinion, a circus. Because at no point did Rickey address his son, never said, I love you, I miss you. I could remember all the good times we had, father-son moments, nothing. There was nothing in regards to his son. And he just walked off the stage. All of you who watched the show, you clearly seen it for yourself. You know what I mean? We were able to look at the entire service. Other people on social media may have been viewing the service and the service cut off for them. We never had none of those technical issues like you because we were on the case early. You understand? I watched the entire stream and I only broadcast the sections that I wanted to view. And we viewed all the way to the end. How many of you that was in the live chat during the stream seen us view the stream till the end of the service? Put a 1 in the chat if you viewed it with me till the end of the service when he walked off the stage. After that, the show was over. Right? I need to make sure that we can confirm with ones that you were there during the live show. That way, for the public record, we know that be true. Because we never had a live stream cut off for us. Unlike others, we viewed all the way to the end, and we only recorded the necessary parts needed for public opinion, for the court of public opinion. Now, let's get back to the case, find out what's going on, because this situation is crazy. This woman is hurting, her brother is gone, and she's holding Rickey Smiley to the fire.
It wasn't like he was going for some corporate job and he needed to have a certain appearance or maintain a certain appearance. That wasn't it. And my brother battled with that. He was really thinking about cutting his hair. Really?
Wow, man. He wasn't going to get no corporate job. You acting like he was going to get some big time job, Rickey. Look at his sister. Her brother is gone because of Rickey. That's right. Because of Rickey. Rickey pushed him over the edge. Let's go.
And that triggered my brother to go and take some pills to numb his pain.
Wow.
And now my brother is dead.
Man, my goodness, man. The young brother's gone. Because he couldn't live up to the pressure, y'all. The pressure. Now, notice this, ladies and gentlemen. Who said the comment? Let me see. Outside the box. Excellent comment. That's grief. Now, notice this, y'all. Look at how the sister, look at the emotions of the sister. Do you see what grief look like? Do you see what it look like when you have pain? Do you see what it look like when you actually lose someone? Do you see the difference? Do you see that? That is what it looked like when you lose someone. She's crying, number one. She's pouring her heart out. She's hurt. She's showing all the emotions when you love someone. Facts. You understand the difference, y'all? But when you saw Rickey and even the relatives, you ain't see that kind of grief like this. You ain't see none of that. It's as if though the family is just cold. And we're going to talk about that more. Let's get back to this. Let's go.
Because he was still trying to uphold his image that Rickey wanted him to maintain.
Wow.
Hey, I just want to.
Wow. Now we're about to hear from him now. Now, I don't know where the source video is that he got it from, but it's probably on Facebook, probably on Instagram. If anybody know who this woman is and you have the source social media, send that to my Instagram at Ringo TV Raw so that I can examine the full video, because he probably most likely cut out parts that we would need to view. I'm pretty sure the video didn't just end like that. So he probably cut it short so that you don't see the full capacity of what that woman had to say. So if anybody know who she is, her name, don't just post it in the chat, send it to me. To Instagram at Ringo TV Raw. That way I can review the data. Because if you post it in the chat, I ain't see it. When I look at the chat, it's to just kind of briefly look. I am not sitting here reading chats. I'm on my job. I'm doing what I got to do. Now, let's listen to what Rickey Smiley have to say. Because he's driving and he's trying to react to what she said to clear his name. Let's go.
Want to respond to the to that video. I'm not responsible for anybody's death. I've been in my nephew's life since he was 4 and 5 years old, when his mother was kind enough to start letting me take him places and let him do stuff with me and my kids, you know? And just like other nieces and nephews, there's a lot of them that came to my house and didn't do what they were supposed to do. And I'm not doing none of this to taint his memory. Yes, he's passed away, and the reason I'm making this video because
you want clout. That's why you're making the video. That's why. It's because you want clout, sir.
You said that it's my fault that he died.
It is. It is your fault. It's your fault that Brandon died too. It's your fault. Because here's the thing, sir. Here's the thing that we must examine. It seems like all of these young men that have been under your watch are all coming up dead. It seemed like everybody that is around you that are young, you're trying to make them live up to some sort of image in terms of going to school, going to college, cutting off their locks, changing how they look in order to please you. I'm beginning to think that some of these young men been abused, possibly. And you all know what I mean. I'm just saying. I'm really beginning to think that way. Something is just not right about this. I never seen a situation where it seemed like everybody that's a young man comes around you, or you take them to your house and it's like they're around you all the time and they're so depressed and going through anxiety. Like, what are you doing to these young men? What exactly is happening behind those closed doors, sir, that would cause a young man to begin to take pills to end his existence? And you sit back and decide to come on social media to respond to this woman for the world. You don't think that you need to take accountability on keeping these type of things within the family, but instead you come to social media. She's already hurting. She lost her brother. But instead of you be a man and say to yourself, let me drive up to the location, to the house, and talk to the young lady behind closed doors, keep it in the family. You're going to come on social media and respond to the whole world. Who cares if she responded to the world? You be the bigger man. But no, you didn't do that. You saw it as an opportunity to make yourself look better. And that's exactly what you did. You did it for the clout.
And I'm not trying to make a mean video, Tasha. I get it. Tasha, you ain't I hadn't spoke to you and you ain't like.
So her name is Tasha. Her name is Tasha. Now he's going to go into not speaking to her. Now, remember, I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that Rickey's family is not as tight as you think it is. It's not. If you notice, ladies and gentlemen, during the funeral, and for all of those that viewed the so-called funeral, the standing ovation, whatever he want to call that thing, Brandon's own mother did not even speak about her own son. Y'all ain't see that? Y'all did not see that. His own mother did not speak about her son, y'all. Did y'all notice that? Did y'all notice that part? Yes, inside of the funeral service, there was a particular section where Rickey pointed to the audience and told her to stand up. The camera went to her and she was on camera. You seen her on the camera and she did not even speak for her own son. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. This is why all the folks that are in their emotions, y'all gotta wake up. I'm waking up the whole world right now with this. You can't see? Nobody really spoke. Nobody spoke. This is crazy. But hey, let's get back to the tapes. Let's go.
Since I went to court and got custody of Ryan.
Well, let me rewind it back because he just talked about the family business. Let's go.
And I'm not trying to make a mean video, Tasha. I get it. Tasha, you ain't I hadn't spoke to you and you ain't like me since I went to court and got custody of Ryan.
Wow. So based on the turn of events, Mr. Smiley is saying that he have not talked to Tasha since he went to court and got custody of Ron. So based on what we're hearing here, Rickey Smiley got legal custody of this young man and groomed him all the way up. Now, again, I don't know what went down in that house, fam. I don't know if there was abuse in the house. I don't know if these young men were introduced to things that are not too kosher, if you know what I mean. But he's taken custody of these men. And then when these men don't turn out the way he wants them to be, he disowned them. So this young man that took his life, allegedly, because we don't know, I don't know, this is the rumor, he was under the custody of Rickey Smiley because he said she, Tasha, have not spoken to Rickey since he got custody of him. So he got custody of him when he was younger. And he was living in his house. So how does a young man that live under the roof of a Christian man, a man that claims he's praising Jesus, that goes to church, and he turns up dead, right? And then you have a daughter that lives in the house. She ended up getting shot. Then you have another son that has another struggle, just like Ron, and he now dead, all under the watchful eye of Rickey Smiley. How does that happen? And he's serving Jesus. Look, ladies and gentlemen, all I can do is offer you the truth and bring out the facts. If this man is so blessed and highly favored, why all the family members are dying under his watch? Why? The Bible says the tree is known by his fruit. If he been an example to all these young men, why are they all turning up dead? And I'm also getting word based on the chat from the live stream that the daughter that got shot was the one that had on the shades, the one that was speaking the most, the one that I believe said something along the lines of, "You broke my heart," to Brandon. Why would she say you broke my heart? That mean that Brandon did something to himself, which mean he may have possibly OD'd on pills or did something else to delete himself. Do you understand? Because why would she say that he broke her heart? Why? How could somebody break your heart if they were unresponsive? Right? That mean that they did something, and that mean that the family knew of his struggles but did nothing to save him. With all of the Jesus they follow, with all of the prayers and the condolences and all of these churches and pastors and elders and leaders and prophetesses and all of these evangelists and all these special anointed people, none of that was able to save Brandon. So where is the power of God? And why would anybody want to be a member of your church when all of the relatives in your family is dropping? You don't think there's a generational curse happening here? Let's get back to the tape.
And I went and acquired for custody because he was a young man in our family. He wanted to come live over there, and I felt like I can help him and get him through high school and get him off to college to make him have a good life. I'm not responsible for his death.
Wow. You're not responsible for his death, so you wanted to get him to out through high school, give him a better life. So you basically adopted him, and he's now dead. You don't think that you have some accountability in that, sir? You were too busy with the radio show. You ain't have no time. This is crazy.
Job, my purpose for being in these young men's life is to save their life, to keep them from death.
So your purpose in life was to keep these young men from death, but you couldn't even keep Brandon from death. And in another video, you made it very publicly clear that parents should put their children on life insurance policies if they're problematic children that are rebellious. This is what you said, Mr. Smiley. You said this. We reviewed this 2 times already, where you suggested that if we have problematic children, teenagers, that we know are on the edge, that we should go take out a life insurance policy on them because we're anticipating them dying. So might as well we get paid in the process. This is what you said, sir. So it could be very possible if Ron was under your care, because you said that you got custody of him, right? So based on my analysis of your videos, it would be safe for me to assume that there's a possibility that you put life insurance on Ron and you also put life insurance on Brandon. Do you follow me? Hey, I'm just saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm just speculating because this is what I do. Let's get back to the case.
But it's when and then I'm not blaming nobody, because if I could do it all over again, I would do everything the same. I would give him his 8-year break, because I couldn't let Ron or any other kids that's been put out of my house and not welcome back.
Kids that been put out of his house, y'all. Peep the clue. He said kids that was put out of his house. How many kids was in his house? How many kids were in his house? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Right? This is crazy, man. Let me rewind that back. Let's go.
But it's when
notice how he's stuttering. Notice how he's stuttering. When that's when you're nervous and you know that you're guilty of something, ladies and gentlemen. Body language.
I'm not blaming nobody, because if I could do it all over again, I would do everything the same. I would give him his 8-year break, because I couldn't let Ron or any other kids that's been put out of my house and not welcome back until they become a different person.
Wow. So right there, Rickey Smiley confessed that there have been kids that was put out of his house and they're not welcome back until they become another person. I don't know what kind of other person he's talking about, but this is really sad and telling. Ain't no telling what kind of abuse may have been done to these young men. I'm not going to go too deep in that. I'm going to leave it for your imagination. I think you can all sense where I'm going, because something ain't right. It seemed like he was trying to control these children to the point where he was grooming them. And if they were disobedient, they were punished severely and threatened, put out the house, not given the proper resources to survive. And we heard this in the video that he made 4 years ago, where he suggested you need to throw them out the house and let life whoop their ass. This is what he said, ladies and gentlemen. We're not making this up. We only provide you with the best content, only the best. You have to understand that, right? What we're trying to do is get justice, not only for Brandon, but also for Ron, because these two men appear to have died in the same exact manner under the watchful eye of Rickey Smiley. Let's go.
And sometimes it takes 8 to 10 years to become a different person, because you got other kids to raise, and you can't let nobody be in your house smoking, drinking, not going to class, not doing what they're supposed to do, and you're helping them. But I have to take care of my kids. But when you're being helped, you can't be helping somebody and they make it worse. He just went through his young stuff. So I had to let him be young, and I had to give him 8 or 9 years to become a different person. And that's exactly what happened. And when he hit me up again, we reconnected. Now I'm dealing with a man that's almost 30. We connected a couple of years ago. Maybe he was 30 or almost 30. And now we have a different relationship. So now we operate as men that I happen to raise. So, man, people, make decisions and bad decisions or whatever, and I will say this. Now, out of all of them, he was the most respectful. He never disrespected me.
So now we have another clue, ladies and gentlemen, that he didn't like Brandon. He said out of all of them, he was the only one that never disrespected me. You see that? That mean that Brandon disrespected him. And this is why him and Brandon didn't have really a close relationship. Don't be deceived, ladies and gentlemen, by the standing ovation service. Don't be deceived. All the pictures they showed, all of the kitty pictures and father, son, all of that stuff is that's just for the internet. He just made it very publicly clear that Ron was never disrespectful to him, which would imply that Brandon was. You got to always understand when someone is saying something, but not saying something.
He never cursed me out like some have.
Like some have. Peep the game. He never cursed me out like some have. He never mentioned some or who they are, but we also know that Brandon was in the house. Let's go.
He never like went off on me and whatever. We had disagreements and whatever. If you read the text messages that I provided or whatever, the text messages tell the story.
So these are some text messages. We can see December 13th, 2020. It says, hey, man, there's a man that will give you a full-time real job in Miami working at a marina. You need to leave Birmingham so you can grow. He said, hey, I've been very busy with this job I do you about, but I'm very interested in the job you told me about. So these are just some text message, but again, we don't have the full context because he ain't gonna give us the entire message. Maybe he doing this particular video. I'm actually viewing this video with you live. Let's go.
Our relationship. So he didn't want to cut his dreads.
So he didn't want to cut his dreads. So let me get this straight, sir. You wanted this young man that we see on the screen right here. You wanted this young man to cut his locks, which for him may be a cultural thing. It may be a spiritual thing. It may be something that makes him feel good about himself. And you wanted him to cut his journey. That's basically what you wanted him to do, right? Let's see what the text message says. It says, I will have all my things in the morning. I'm packed, cell phone. He says, okay, call Ivan and see when you need to be there. Tell him you're packed and ready. Let's go.
So if you represent me and I'm sending you down there with my connection, he the one called me and said, hey, I want to change my life.
Okay.
So he said, what should I do?
What should you do?
I said, you need to leave Birmingham.
All right.
Not that Birmingham is a bad place, but Birmingham is a comfort zone for people that grew up in Birmingham, and Dallas is a comfort zone for people that grew up in Dallas.
Now, notice the text message. It says, hey, good morning. He said, good morning. What's the plan? He said, finna go and get a haircut. Let's go.
And Miami is a comfort zone for people that grew up in Miami. And sometimes it takes you to get out of your comfort zone.
So that's the young brother right there, as you can see.
In order to grow, right? So I found an opportunity for him and I made a phone call because I'm well connected.
Notice this. Rickey Smiley said publicly that he is well connected. Well, if you're well connected, why you never got help for Ron if he had some sort of struggles and addictions, and why you didn't get no help for Brandon if they had struggles and addictions? Where was the connections? See, this is why a lot of people cannot stand me, because I'm this blunt, this raw, and this real. I'm not here to sugarcoat or play with emotions. I am not an emotional person. That's for women. Women are emotional. Men are supposed to be logical. You understand? I could understand a woman being overly emotional and lack the logic needed to comprehend this type of information. Not all women, but for most part, most women are just emotional, especially the religious ones. You can't teach them anything and you can't tell them nothing because they're set in their ways already. But when men are not logical and they're not making any sense, that's problematic. That's very, very serious. This man took custody of this young man. Again, I don't know how this man was raised in that house. I don't know what was done to this young man. I don't know if he have any secrets that he would have probably didn't want to share. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you never know what went on in that house with these young men, because they all seem to be traumatized, depressed. And how is that possible if Rickey Smiley is supposed to be successful and he's not really all that successful the way most people think? He's successful in his own right, but he's not like out there like everybody else in Hollywood. So how is it that a man that have success have family members that are dropping like flies and they're all depressed? Surely they would have something to live for and be excited for.
Hey, I got a nephew that want to work, that want to pay taxes, that's trying to get himself together. He ain't never had his own house. He need to get his own car. And, you know, what kind of opportunities do you have? My friend said, hey, I got a job at Miami Beach Marina, right? And got him a job. All right, here's the deal. We need to cut your dreads. You need to cut your dreads. You need to clean yourself up.
Wow, so he needed to clean himself up. So you didn't like the way he looked. So you're telling the young man that you got to cut your hair, right? You got to cut your hair off. You got to clean yourself up. So basically, you didn't like the way the young brother looked. The job never told him he had to cut his hair. You don't see Caucasian men being told to get a job, you have to cut your hair. It's only when you're a black man, you got to change who you are in order to please somebody. Have you ever noticed that? Imagine that. This is crazy. So I gotta cut my locks off. So my locks is a problem, but yet you got other guys that work in those type of locations, Caucasian men, and their hair is long, and they don't have no problem. But if you're black, you got to change the way you look. And this is coming from another black man to a black man, oppressing another black man. We would think that we would hear this from some company that's racist, but instead we're hearing this from our own relatives. Do you see how that happens, ladies and gentlemen? How your own relatives, your own family can oppress you. This is crazy.
Or whatever. I'm not going to get into you have every right to wear your hair the way you want to. And this for all young men that's watching this video. Do what you want to do.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, fam, ain't no telling what was going on in that house with these young men and how traumatized they was and how they really felt being around this man. I'm just looking at things for how they is. You took custody of these young men and they all on pills trying to stop their pain, and you're doing a radio show entertaining people while your family is dying. I don't understand that. And it's like you're treating these young men like garbage because they don't want to live up to your values. They're young men. They're going to fly their own way. At the end of the day, you got to be there for them, even if they hard-headed and don't want to listen at times. That's your job. That's what being a parent is. You took that responsibility when you took custody of the young man. This is crazy. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Look, I can have issues with my daughters. I can have issues or whatever the case is in the future. We can argue. But as a parent, you're going to still be there. That's your job. That's your job. Listen, I don't care how much arguing you argue with your kid. They could act anyway. As a parent, you're supposed to have enough wisdom to get out of your feelings and just do your job. You understand? It's just like when you go to the 9 to 5 to do your job. Sometimes, man, they could get on your nerves. Co-workers getting on your nerves, everybody getting on your nerves. But you got to be like, look, I'm not here to be everybody's friend. So I'm going to get out of my feelings, right? And I'm just going to do my job so I could get my check and go home, because I don't got no time to deal with ninjas all day. I'm not going to have a bad day. I'm not going to go home upset because a bunch of ninjas at the workplace is pissing me off. I'm not going to go to my job with my feelings, nor am I going to take my job home and stress out my whole family. I'm not going to do that either. Because sometimes you could be at the 9 to 5 and everybody on your job stress you out because their lives are miserable. And now you take that misery home, and now you arguing at home because you brought your job home. Have it ever dawned on you that your wife don't want to hear about your job all day? Have it ever dawned on you, lady, that your man don't want to hear about your job and how hard your job? Nobody don't want to hear none of that mess. You go to your job to do your job. Just that simple. We're not going to no job to be friends. Yeah, you might talk with people, have a couple of associates, but you're not there to go to a nightclub. You're there to do your job. So just do your job and go home.
wear your hair the way you want it, wear your pants the way you want it, but just because you can, don't mean that you should. Because I'm trying to set you up for success.
So in order to have success, he have to cut off his locks. So are you saying that a black man wearing locks is not the successful look, but yet Jay-Z is supposed to be a billionaire? Really? Really? Jay-Z have free-form weird locks. I don't like the style of his locks, but it is locks. I got locks. You see me in my videos. Just because I'm off camera doesn't mean nothing. Those that watch me, you can see my video right on the homepage. I got locks, long locks. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm never cutting it. But you want this man to cut it because you figure having locks make you look unsuccessful, but yet Jay-Z have free-form locks? You think any of his corporate buddies care? They don't care about his locks. They don't see locks. They see a man because he's smart. Obviously, for him to ride around and negotiate with all these top corporate people, you have to be a very intelligent man. Very intelligent to even sit at the table. Now, you can speculate about the Illuminati and all this other stuff that they're involved in and the dark side and all of that other stuff. We get it. But at the end of the day, a Jay-Z is not going to be able to sit around all these industry people if he didn't have no intelligence. If you ever sit down and listen to Jay-Z when he talk, he's intelligent. Despite all of the diamond and the satanic this, let's put all of that to the side. Jay-Z is not a dummy. He's very intelligent. He's smart. He knows how to talk. Besides all the disagreements, he knows how to talk and communicate. That's why he is where he is. Your hairstyle don't make you unsuccessful. So he planted in this young man that his locks make him look like a bum, like a thug. That's bad business.
Let me make a comparison.
I
used to have dreads. I had a mentor that's a celebrity say, hey.
So because you used to have dreads, which is the wrong word to use, actually saying dreads is very offensive. Did you not know that? It's not called dreads, it's called locks. You know, to say dreads mean disgusted, to mean it's dreaded. It's dreadful. It's not pleasant for the eyes. You call it locks, not dreads. That's very offensive. You understand? But again, Rickey wouldn't know.
Yeah, you selling out in the comedy club, but you ain't got no endorsements.
Wow.
If you cut those dreads out of your hair and move out of Birmingham and cut your dreads or whatever, different opportunities gonna come. He was absolutely right. The minute I cut those dreads, I got an eyewear line in America's Best stores all across the country and among other endorsements.
So you think because you cut your locks, it made the white man give you a check? Are you listening to what this guy just said? This guy basically just said that he cut off his locks, and once he did that, all the endorsement deals and everything started coming up. So you're basically telling me that in order to be successful as a black man, you have to bow down to massa, cut off your locks in order to please them. So basically, you're hazing. Now think about what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. He's hazing his own family because of his own sacrifices. That's what's going on here. The same rituals he had to go through in order to be successful in terms of cutting off his locks and all of this other stuff, he's using the same thing on his other relatives. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And that's gonna traumatize a young man. And he probably told the young man, you're never going to be nothing. You're never going to amount to nothing. Think about it. You're in my house. I take care of you. You're a bum. You're not working. I'm the one who feeding you, Negro. And he probably is using a lot of profanity, a lot of insults, a lot of degrading words. He probably inflicted so much hell on Ron that Ron grew into depression. That's crazy, man. This is just sad. Let's go.
And this the money that you make when you laying in the bed, sleep, cha-ching. You taking a nap, cha-ching.
So this is all about money. This is not about who you are as a man. Wow. So I got to cut my locks to be successful. Okay.
And not only that, moving out of town, getting out of my comfort zone helped me to grow, to live in 3 different cities all at one time and getting to know different people, different cultures, different ways.
Well, what about the culture of him having locks? What about that culture? Why is it as a black man, you got to erase your culture in order for another culture to accept you? Why we got to live like that? This is crazy. So he's only focused on the cha-ching. That's it. That's all he see.
Doing things in between Dallas and Fort Lauderdale and Atlanta and Birmingham, I've grown a lot. So that's what I wanted for him. So don't come with this hyper alpha female stuff, and that's the problem, because mothers raise daughters, but they baby they boys.
And that's exactly what you did with your sons. You babied them. You treated your sons like they were daughters. That's how you treated your sons. You belittled them. You embarrassed them on social media. You insulted them. And then when they gave you a reaction, you made it seem like they were disrespectful. The Bible teaches you to not provoke your children. Why? Because you'll discourage them. That's what it says in the scriptures, fam. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Let me see if I can bring this up, because you know how it is when I teach. I always like to go into the scriptures to bring it out, because a lot of religious folks, they don't read, right? Let me see what the scripture says, because we got to bring it out, right? The scriptures tell you not to do this. So let's see if we can bring this thing out. Let's see what we got. I think it's in the book of, where is it? I'm not sure what's chapter and verse, but let me see. Da 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 da. Let me see if I can bring this up. I think it was in the book of Proverbs. I'm not sure exactly what chapter and verse it's in, because I'm multitasking while I'm doing the stream. But it's something along the lines of provoke not your children, because you're going to discourage them. That's what I'm trying to find. Let me see if I can find that. It's very important. Let me see. I can't find it. You saying Ephesians? Okay, let me see. See, this is why you need a chat, because the chat is able to multitask for you. So let me see. Let me pull it up. Let me get this thing, because again, okay, and it's perfect. This is perfect. So I appreciate that to the chat. Karen and Lady Divine, appreciate that. Carrie, right? Okay, let's see if we can get this on the screen, because again, we have to do this in order to properly teach. It's very important that you bring out these scriptures. So let me put this on the screen so that the people can see what's going on here. All right, so let me take a screenshot of this. This is a master class session, and our job is to bring out all the truth. We're going to show you that Rickey Smiley have to be held accountable for not only the death of Ron, but also Brandon. These are facts, and we have to bring this thing out, because a lot of times we think being a parent is about bullying our children into submission. This is what the Bible says. You know, to all of you so-called Christians that claim you follow Jesus, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4 said, "And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord." But there's another scripture. Let me see. Hold on a second. There's something else. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. There is another scripture There's another scripture. That's a good one. Let me see. But you know what? Maybe I should be looking at the amplified version of the same scripture. I think that's what it is. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let me see. This is not necessarily it, but I'm going to take this as well. But there's another scripture that talks about provoke not your children or something along those lines because you're going to discourage them, right? But we're going to use this one anyway. Let me look at the Living Translation so that we can see exactly what is going on here. The New Living Translation. All right, let me see what it says in there. Okay, let me put this on the screen. It doesn't really matter. We don't need the other scripture. This one will do. Let's get this one up because this one is more telling. This is the amplified version of the same scripture. What we're trying to establish here, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that Rickey Smiley was abusive to his children, the brothers that were under his care. He was abusive towards them based on the Bible. Now, those of you that watched the video stream with the ovation, standing ovation service, whatever that was, I reviewed the video where Rickey Smiley suggested that you need to put a life insurance policy on your kids that are wicked so that when they die, you could collect money. Now, let's see what the Bible says. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, it says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, right? Do not provoke your children to anger. Do not exasperate them to the point of resentment with demands. Are y'all seeing that? With demands, right, that are trivial or unreasonable or humiliating or abusive, nor by showing favoritism or indifference to any of them, but bring them up tenderly with loving kindness in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Rickey Smiley did not do that. Rickey Smiley basically caused his children a lot of stress. He humiliated them, abused them with a lot of trivial nonsense. He was unreasonable, caused them to look at themselves differently, and it drove them into depression. I mean, imagine someone constantly telling you that you're a failure every day and you need to do things their way, and if not, you're gonna be a bum. And they keep looking down on you and speaking death over your life. Y'all remember what he said in the video? He suggested that you get a life insurance policy. Let me see. Somebody post the scripture. Colossians. Hold on. Let me see. Gina and 7 Urban. Let me see what you got. And I'm not going to read 1,000 scriptures all day, but I'll take what you are posting because maybe you might have the scripture that I'm looking for. So let me see if we got it. See what we got. Ah, here we go. Yeah, that's definitely what I was looking for. Definitely what I was looking for. Okay. All right, now. So that's the scripture I was looking for. So let's see what we got. We're going to look at this from the Amplified Bible. Because see, in these churches, they don't preach none of this. In these churches, they don't teach none of this. You understand? Let me go to the New Living Translation. Because the Amplified, it just goes into a lot of different things. Let me see. Okay. Let me screenshot this. Let me screenshot this. Because again, this is what happened to Brandon as well as to Ron because of this particular scripture here. This is what happened to them brothers. And if nobody don't talk about it, these guys ain't gonna get the proper justice that they deserve. Right? So let's look at this real quick. Okay. Let me see where we at. All right. We got the King James and we also have the Living Translation. All right. So we got this one and we have this one. All right. So Colossians 3:21, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Fathers, do not aggravate your children, or they will become discouraged. This is what happened to Ron and Brandon. This is what happened. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger. Fathers, do not aggravate your children, or they will become discouraged. This is what happened to that young brother that died. Because sometimes as a parent, we think because we're successful that we can look down on these young people, and we don't realize they're under a lot of stress already. You know, you have to understand, if you got daughters and sons, they're growing up in a time where they're trying to find themselves. So as a father, you got to be a little more lenient. You got to be a little more careful. You got to be wise in how you approach your children, especially in their development stages, because they're dealing with peer pressure. They're dealing with friends. They're going to make mistakes. At the same time, you got to be there to equip them. And when you realize they make a mistake, don't be so hard on them and too much tough love. I believe Judge Mathis said it best, where there was an episode where you had a young man that had sickle cell anemia. And I'm pretty sure you all seen it. There's an episode of Judge Mathis where there was a young brother that had sickle cell anemia, and he went with his family to some guy to live, and the guy just kept showing him tough love. And it got to the point where Judge Mathis asked the bailiff guy to give him a tissue because it was making him cry, because he saw himself in the young man, because he remembered when he was around the tough streets. I think it's Oakland. I'm not sure where it is, but I can remember everything because I stay tuned to what happened in history, and I can recall him going off on that elder brother for basically bullying the young man and discouraging the young man to the point where the young man felt lost. You know what I mean? Horrible. It's just not crazy. It's just crazy. It was Detroit. Let me see. Detroit. It was Detroit. Okay, I stand corrected. It was Detroit. The streets of Detroit. And it was just a crazy situation, man. Crazy. Matter of fact, I got it. I got the video clip. Hold on a second. I got that same video clip. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can bring it up. Again, like I said, I keep records of all types of stuff, fam. I keep records of all types of stuff. Okay. Let me do this real quick. Let's add this into the stream. Right? Pause the video. Again, I made a YouTube short with it. That's why I just remembered. So let me play this thing so that you can all see, because maybe you've never seen this. But let's take a look at this. Again, this is all for educational purposes to make the community understand how you should raise a young man, and how being too tough on him can cause the young man to be discouraged, because you end up becoming a big bully. And you don't want to be that way, right? You don't want your children to fear you to the point where they're afraid of disappointing you, and now they're in bondage. You don't want that, right? So let's see if we can play this thing, rewind this thing back.
I don't hear no more of this. Hand me a piece of tissue, man. Did this damn young man move from the streets of Oakland to escape the gang, lead out to you for help?
It was Oakland. It was Oakland. It was Oakland. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm doing something real quick behind the scenes. Hold on a second. Let me turn that off. Let's go.
I don't hear no more of this. Hand me a piece of tissue, man. Did this damn young man moved from the streets of Oakland to escape the gang, plead out to you for help. You let him move in there, knowing what he done went through all his life. He running from the street gangs. How many young people run from the street gangs and try and escape? None. Most of them stay there and try and survive and kill each other or destroy themselves. He got sickle cell anemia, no parents, and yeah, I'm crying because I see myself in it. There's one thing to give a young man tough love, but where's the love? All I hear is toughness.
Wow. That's exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen. All I hear is toughness. You see that? Right? So I needed for you to see that so that you can understand how serious this is. You know, as you know, young men, they don't need you to give them all this tough love to the point where you're just being tough and being a bully. You got to show them the love side too. And a lot of us forgot our struggles and we're too tough on these young men and we end up discouraging them. So that's a clear example of what the scriptures mean when it says, you know, to provoke not your children, lest you discourage them, right? Because if a young man feel like his loved ones don't love him, he's going to go to the gangs, you know, or he's going to go start popping pills. And you don't want that. So let's get back to the tapes, find out what's going on.
Right over here, if you look at all the videos, look at the videos, you just men that I gave the same playbook, the same directions, the same structure, the same discipline, the same cussing out that I gave all, and all of them on these videos are successful or on their way to success.
So you're telling me that beating these men up, abusing them verbally, harassing them, and telling them to cut their locks is how you become successful. Okay.
You know, growing up in my dad's house.
Now think about what he's doing here now. He's using his son, Malik Smiley, to substantiate that he's a good father and never had any issues with him and that he's not complaining, not realizing that a lot of these young men have been indoctrinated by their fathers and programmed to think a certain way. Let's listen to what the son says.
It was never easy. You know, it was always tough. It was always frustrating because of, you know, his rules and having to deal with, you know, like you can't wear your hair a certain way. You can't wear, you know, certain type of clothes a certain way. But at the end of the day, it's always for a good purpose. You know, he's not doing that just to pick on people. You know, he never did that to pick on me. And I always thought that he was just picking on me. Like, why can't I wear this type of clothes? Why can't I sponge my hair up? Like, and as I got older, I just realized.
No, young man, you didn't realize that you were being abused the whole time. That's what you didn't realize. See, a lot of times victims of abuse don't even know they're being abused because they've been abused their whole life. So abuse is normal to them. They see that as normal behavior. You understand? It's one thing to have tough love and being directed by a grown man to live a certain way and conduct yourself a certain way. But when you are trying to mold a young man into being the image of you, that's abuse. You understand? You're not supposed to be trying to make your son become you. Your son is his own person. Let him grow up and be who he is meant to be. He's not supposed to be you. He's not supposed to be a part of a fraternity. He's not supposed to join the organization of Omega just because you were. That's not how it goes. Let's go.
And I was like, you know, maybe he's trying to do this for, you know, a good reason. Maybe he's trying to help me. Maybe he's not actually my enemy. So
no, he was trying to help himself. This is what you didn't see, young man.
You know, one time I was just like, you know what, just let me give it a try. Let me just try to not, you know, disagree, try to like not disregard what he's saying and try to just take it all in, because the only reason why I did that is because one of my cousins who graduated, he got his master's degree, you know, he making serious money, and he told me, he was like, all I did was just listen to your dad and everything he said. I was like, okay, you know, let me just try this out.
You see what he's doing? He's basically looking at another man's success and thinking that, oh, hey, I'm just gonna follow what your dad says, or hey, I got successful because I listened to your dad. Well, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything. Just because you're listening to your dad doesn't make you're going to be successful like the other guy. You understand? One man's success is not going to be the same for the next man if he follow. That's not how it works. Every man is different. Everybody have their own path to walk.
So when I did that, I ended up where I'm at now. I'm in college. I'm trying my best. I'm playing basketball in college. I'm doing my thing as of now. And if it wasn't for all that discipline, all that structure that he had.
You mean abuse. That's what you mean. You mean abuse, control, pressure, stress. That's not structure, young man. Structure is you understanding the path and what it's going to take to get there. And you have a father that has given you the necessary tools so that you can literally go out there and win. Not pressuring you to become something that he want you to be. It's what you want to be. It's what you want to do. I could just imagine how many young men are going to college to play basketball because their dad want them to, not because they want to. Well, I want you to be an attorney, so I need you to go study law. But I don't want to do that, Dad. Well, I need you to do that because I did it. That's not structure. That's abuse. You know what I mean? That's like I produce music. I'm a music producer, and I'm trying to force all my daughters to be music producers. I can let them try. I can get them some software, and I can get them to, get on the Mac and teach them how to edit. At the same time, if they don't go and run with it and flow with it, I'm going to leave them alone. I just can't keep pushing them to do that. You got to look at your children, find out what they do best, and then back up what they do best. Find their talents and their gifts, and then throw your resources into that and help them to grow in what they do. If you see your child loves to draw, then supply them with the artwork supplies, a table, not a regular table, but a table to do art, the slanted tables that allow you to draw and paint. And you get them the tools, the lighting, so they can feel comfortable by doing what they do and what they love. That is what a parent's supposed to do. That encourages the child. And then before you know it, hey, you can put your child to say, hey, you love drawing. Maybe you can draw for social media. They have a lot of content creators that draw and paint, and they do that and they post content on YouTube, and they make a very good living drawing while using their artistic skills for content creation. See how I just did that? But yet, a lot of parents, they don't do that. They bully their kids into becoming basketball players and attorneys.
This house, I wouldn't even be in college right now. I would be in the street somewhere doing my own thing. It's always for a good purpose, and I appreciate it for that.
So you would be in the streets doing your own thing if your father didn't push you. So you needed another man to keep pushing you. You didn't have a plan for yourself. See, this is why I don't understand. If your dad is already successful doing something, you already had the blueprint. Do you understand me? That's like being the son of Michael Jordan and you're a bum. That's like being, what's the guy that run Apple, man? Not the Bill Gates of Macintosh, not the Windows guy, PC, not him, not Bill Gates. Ted something, Ted, I'm not sure what his name is, but the CEO of not Steve Jobs, the other guy. Tim Cook, yeah. We know Steve Jobs is the OG, not him. Remember, he passed away. Tim Cook. If you're the son of Tim Cook and you turn out to be a bum, something's wrong with you. Because you're around a man that is running Apple, all the technology, all the knowledge, all this information, and you're his son, and you're in the streets? That makes no sense. You're supposed to be out here winning, starting your own apps, being successful. It doesn't make sense. So as a son, if you see Smiley doing whatever he's doing, he's the blueprint. You were raised watching your father be successful. So you should have already had the upper hand.
took a while for me to actually understand. And
let me tell you something, fam. When I was coming up in the game, right, I can remember when I was about 11 years old. 11 years old, ladies and gentlemen. No lie, no cap. I seen my primo, Jorge, named George in English. I remember he was cutting hair in the crib. This is what he did all the time, hustling, making money, cutting hair. He had the barber tools. I remember everything, the Andes clippers, the Andes master clippers, and he used to cut hair right in the crib. And I seen him, I watched him doing this every single day, right? Eventually I started looking at him do this, and I was like, damn, I need money. I would watch him. Before you know it, I never picked up a clippers in my life. But when I got my allowance money, I went down to the local Chinaman shop, the beauty salon, bought myself a DeWalt. No, not DeWalt, a Waltz clippers. One of the ones for like about $40. A Waltz clippers, the adjustable kind, and I bought an Andes T outliner, right? With my money that I was supposed to use for school to buy clothes. And back then, they didn't give you much money to buy clothes. I had to shop at Bobby's department store on Church Avenue. Right? So I bought my clippers. I went back to the hood, back to the block, and I called all my peeps, and I was like, yo, I'll cut y'all hair for $5. They were like, how? You don't know how to cut hair? I said, I do. I'm a professional. They believe me. Right? Put them in the chair. I started cutting their hair. I kid you not. No cap, no lie. I cut their hair to perfection, just like my cousin, because I watched them. I watched every move he make. No different than you watching somebody on the basketball court dribble and they taking their shots and you're looking at the form. I watched when he adjusted the clipper to do the fade. I watched when he was doing the sides. I watched when he did this, that. I'd seen how he did with the scissors. I'd seen everything. And I mastered it just by looking at him. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is a father that is already successful is a blueprint to his son. It shouldn't be rocket scientists. All you got to do is just look at your dad, see how he move, and just mimic the personality and his work ethic and apply that into anything in life and you'll be successful. Period. Right? Okay, let's get back. Let's go.
And realize that iron sharpens iron, and that actually means that.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, I went on to work in professional barbershops at the ages of 12 all the way up to 18 years old. In professional barbershops in New York City. No cap, no lies. You know what I mean? I got receipts. One of these days, I might even show you old pictures and old images and videos of me in a barbershop cutting hair. You know what I mean? As a kid, making money because I watched my cousin cut hair and I learned the trade of how to cut hair. I'm a professional. If I was to cut somebody hair today, even though I don't do that stuff no more, I'll hook you up. You'll be like, yo, Ringo, yo, man, yo, that's what's up, bruh. Yo. Don't let me get an Andes clipper and line you up, fam. Give you the nice, crispy lineup, fam. Straight up.
It ain't gonna be all roses and rainbows. It's gonna be some hard talk. You know, he cussed me out.
Notice, he just said that his father cussed him out. That's what he just said, y'all. That his father cussed him out. The scripture says, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. You're not supposed to be cussing them out. I understand that sometimes as parents, we might get heated and you might let off a few F-bombs and, you know, because you're pissed off. But if you're just cussing at your kids on the regular, that's not good. I suggest you tone that down if you're a parent. You know what I mean? Don't do stuff like that. You know, it's going to discourage them.
Over 1 billion times.
So he cussed you out over 1 billion times. That's sad.
And I had to learn how to not let it get to my feelings, just try to hear the message.
Which means you had to learn how to take the abuse. That's what you're really saying.
What's going on, Rick, man? Look, I don't even know where to begin.
See, notice what Rickey Smiley is doing. All of these different people that he's throwing up on the screen is him trying to prove that he taught these men how to be successful. That's basically what he's doing.
Yeah, as far as expressing my thanks to you as far as the kind of person that you've been, whether it be from having a grown man conversation with me when I found out that I was a father-to-be, to transitioning to the importance of making sure that if I do have a business, that I run it as professionally as possible. So that's helped me not only begin one business, but we're up to 4 now and running. I mean, in addition to that, you just always being a person I can lean on or call to seek general advice about life, to have those tough conversations, the ones that most of us try to shy away from because we don't really want to hear it. I appreciate you not only holding me accountable, but being open to having conversations, even with me, regarding things that are going on in your life.
It's almost like he just told these guys, hey, get on camera and just speak about me to make me look good. Basically, that's what he's doing.
With you as a father and a son, and being supportive in return of the relationship I have with my son. But to say the least, man, you've been awesome. You're a giving person, a loving person, caring person. The list goes on and on and on. So I can sit here and...
Everybody's saying they need haircuts in the chat. Hey, I don't know, fam. I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. Let's get back to this.
Talk all day about things of which that you've done that I've seen to be beneficial and helping me to become as successful as I am and as successful as I hope to continue to be.
See anybody
Notice one thing, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't see Brandon in that tape. Are y'all peeping the game? Are y'all peeping the game? I was waiting for that. Notice that, ladies and gentlemen, you did not see Brandon at all. We didn't see Brandon. Where was Brandon? How come Rickey Smiley didn't use Brandon? Notice that. Where was Brandon? How come we didn't see video of Brandon? Maybe there is video of Brandon. Maybe I'll be corrected later on in the stream, because again, I'm watching the video with you. I did not look at this video yet. I am looking at this video with you. Right? But up to now, I didn't see him put Brandon on the screen so that Brandon could talk about how successful he is. I didn't see Ron on the video talking about how successful he is. So what's really going on here? Let's go.
Anybody that bought what I was teaching made it. LeBert Hedgeman is an engineer, graduated from Alabama A&M, Kappa Alpha Psi, or whatever.
Notice fraternities. Notice that. Notice that. He just advertised the fraternities and everything else. Listen, let's go.
See, anybody that bought what I was teaching,
yeah,
made it.
Oh, so they made it. So what about Brandon? So Brandon didn't make it. Are y'all seeing this? Are y'all seeing this? Brandon didn't make it. And this is what I'm trying to show the public, that what you saw on that standing ovation service is a facade. It's a show for the public. Nobody cared about Brandon. Do you understand me? He did not make it because they knew he wasn't going to make it.
LeBert Hedgeman is an engineer, graduated from Alabama A&M, Kappa Alpha Psi, or whatever, has his own business where he serviced my service car. He's an engineer, right? So in his later years as an adult, I was able to mentor him. My little cousin Deltrick.
What about mentoring Brandon? You never mentored Brandon? How come none of that intelligent work of yours, the great mentorship, how come it didn't work for Brandon? I'm trying to figure this out.
Has a master's degree in English.
What about Brandon's master's degree? Did he get one? Did Bird get one? No.
Brandon Connor graduated Florida State University baseball team.
Oh man, what can I say?
Notice all these different people that he's paying to come on camera. You don't notice this? All of these different people that's coming on cameras, he's doing this to clear his name publicly. Because the public, as well as part of the family, was accusing him with allegations of being responsible for the death of his nephew. So he got all these other guys to come on camera to do these little videos to make it seem like, hey, Rickey was there and he taught us how to be men. It's crazy.
My life when I was 8 or 9 years old. Since then, you've been like a father figure to me.
Crisis actors, yes, you're correct. Mimi, yeah, you're correct. Another crisis actor. Yeah, you're right. There you go.
You've pushed me in so many ways that I didn't think was possible. But
well, how is it that he pushed you? What about your father, sir? How is that Rickey Smiley pushed you, but your own father didn't push you? I'm trying to figure this out. That's all. I'm trying to figure it out. Let's go.
never once in a negative way. You came down on me. When you came down on me, it was for the better of me.
So hold up. He didn't do anything negative to you, but his son said that he was cursing him out the whole time. And he just got accustomed to it. All right. Okay. Back to the show.
You pushed me to become who I am today. I know I would reach out to you with...
Let me see. Somebody asked, did he speak at Brandon's funeral? I don't think that he liked Brandon. No, he did not speak. If you're talking about the father did not speak at the funeral at all about his son. He came up to the podium. We reviewed it in the last live stream. If you have time, you can view the last live stream that I've done where we covered the funeral. The father did not speak about anything concerning his son. And also, let me say this. A lot of people that are commenting in my videos are assuming that I was waiting for the father to tell the public how his son died at the service. No, I never said at no point that I was waiting for him to tell the public how his son died at the service. What I said was I'm waiting for the father to address how he felt about his son. Normally, when you're at a funeral, you begin to talk about your love for your relative, the good times, the bad times, the emotional times, and you're there to be vulnerable, to cry, talk about how much you miss them, share stories about when you last spoke with them by phone, things you loved about your son, the times when you were raising him as a little boy, when you changed his diaper, when you gave him his first bath. These are things that a man talks about if his son died. You understand? He didn't speak on nothing. He came to the podium and he just gave everybody shout outs. He shouted out his radio station. Believe this or not, ladies and gentlemen, Rickey Smiley came to the podium and shouted out his radio show to give it publicity. So based on what I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, this entire situation with his son passing away is one big clout chase where he's just promoting himself. The first thing Rickey Smiley said when he got to the podium is he thanked God for his own life, ladies and gentlemen. Believe that. Amazing. When Rickey Smiley got to the podium, the first thing he said is, thank God for my life. He didn't say thank God for his son's life. He didn't say nothing in regards to his son. And I'm listening and I'm in total disbelief. Like, wow, you ain't even address your son. The entire show wasn't even about your son. He ain't say nothing, ladies and gentlemen. It's all on tape. We covered everything that was needed, the needed parts of the funeral, because they basically took it down from the other website. This is why you got a live stream. This is why you got to document different stories, because it's very important for educational purposes. Whatever you broadcast on the web is for the web, and it's a fair use for commentary and criticism. Let's get back to the show.
Questions about business, about life, about sports, and how to handle certain situations. And every lesson that I've taught myself, you amplified that by 20.
So basically, Rickey Smiley is getting all the praise. Now, what does the Bible talks about giving your alms before men? You see this? This is what Rickey Smiley is doing here. He's literally getting praise and glory from these young men, promoting him as the reason why they're successful. It's one thing if these young men came on social media to talk about Rickey Smiley on their own accord, but Rickey Smiley is defending himself against allegations, and he's using these young men to get their testimony as if though, oh, I'm not responsible for Bird's death. It wasn't me. Look, These guys are successful. How come they're still alive? Well, how do we know you didn't do something to Bird? Allegedly. How do we know if you never abused him? Allegedly. How do we know if you didn't threaten him? Allegedly. How do we know? See, we don't know. And this is the problem. This is why we're holding you to public scrutiny. Let's go.
Not only through your words, but your actions as well. You always taught me to be accountable for my actions.
But the father's not being accountable for his actions. He neglected Brandon. Brandon is gone. And for whatever reason, he's not telling the public how he passed away. See, when he came to the podium, I wasn't expecting him to say, hey, my son died of this. No, that would not be appropriate at that moment. What I was expecting him to do is do what normal people do when they're at a funeral. They begin to share their love and their thoughts and feelings about their loved one that passed away. He did not share not one word about his son. He never said, I love my son and all this other stuff, and focused on that. You know what I mean? He might have said a few brief things that are literally trivial, not really anything of value, of substance. There was nothing there. It was a very cold-hearted moment. And I was disappointed because I couldn't believe that you walked up there with his daughter. Like, why would you even bring his daughter to the stage? For what? There is no reason to do that. You were hiding behind the daughter at that point, sir. You were using his daughter to hide, to shield yourself from the public, as if though I'm a great, great dad. See, I have his daughter in my arm. See, I'm a good man. See, but his own mother did not come to that podium to speak, which is very telling. Imagine, mothers, you lost your son, you're at their funeral, and you don't even go to the podium to talk. Kind of remind me of the situation with Takeoff. When rapper Takeoff died, his own mother did not go to the podium and talk. Not at all. I'm telling you, fam, there's a lot of mysterious deaths that take place, and you think all family is tight and they're right. Nope, it's not that way. Let's get back to the show.
Be a man. Just the rules of being a man, you know. Look a man in his eye. Talk to someone with respect. Don't mistreat the janitor at your office. And I've carried that with me.
Wait. Don't mistreat the janitor at your office. But Rickey mistreated his son because he was down and out. You understand? In other words, he's saying that Rickey told him, don't look at the janitor as if though a janitor is a nobody because you're the executive and making all the money. In other words, treat everybody with respect. That's something every man is supposed to know. Every man is supposed to know that you're supposed to treat every man with respect. I treat every man with respect. It doesn't matter what your job title is. I don't care if you're a bum on the street and you change bottles. I still treat you with respect. That's how I am. You understand? I respect every man, all the Home Depot brothers stocking boxes, all the cashiers, all of the people at the department stores, all the truck drivers, everybody. Anybody that's working, doing what they got to do to earn a living, I don't care what you're doing, as long as it's legal, I respect everybody. I don't look down on people because of where they are. And the reason why I don't do that is because one day that very same person that might be on the bottom might end up being on the top, and he might end up being your supervisor one day. He might be the CEO of a company one day. Do you understand me? That's why it says be kind to the people on your way up, because those are the same people you're going to see on your way down. Always treat people with respect. You never know, later in life, you might run into people again, and you may need their help. So don't burn down certain bridges.
Throughout life, you know, when I got into, after baseball, when I got into the corporate America world, you taught me how to handle that. You know, again, you pushed me, you challenged me, but you always said that if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Oh, man, I love you.
Notice how many people that he's doing. Notice all these different people. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm watching the video with you. He got all these people to talk for him. Y'all don't see what's happening here? He literally coerced all of these men to get on camera, make a quick recording of how his life touched them. This is crazy, man. You know what I mean? Let's get back to this, fam. Let's go.
I appreciate everything you've done for me, man, and my family, man. It's a blessing to see what you've done in the community, to see how many individuals you've took in and help out, man, it's a blessing.
It's interesting how he's taking in all of these men, but he's not taking in no women. There better be a woman in this video. There better be a woman that comes up on camera. Because if y'all just dealing with these men, you know, it just raises questions, fam. I don't know what's going on. It's like you're only looking out for these men. It's just not looking right. It's like, do you even have relationships with your daughters? Do you teach them anything? Because it seems like you only want men coming around and adopting men. I don't get it. But let's go.
And I just want to speak on your character, man. Just to help out a lot of people and do all the things you've done.
Yeah, and so many nephews, and none of these men have fathers. Think about that.
A lot on your character, man. Because you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to do it, but you took it upon yourself.
And I'm pretty sure all of these men are a part of a fraternity. I'm pretty sure all of these men are a part of a fraternity. I can guarantee you. All nephews. Notice that. I'm good. I'm glad that the chat is seeing all of these men are nephews. Nephews. Which mean these men are not technically, it's like they're not really close, if you know what I mean. Like, they're family of a family. Family of a family. That's who they are. You understand? Family of a family of a family. And none of them got their fathers. But Rickey want you to believe that all of these men, he was active in all of their lives when he had that radio show being busy all the time. Let that make sense.
Hear about your community, and I know what you see in the youth. You see yourself, and you see the struggles you went through, and you just want to be a helping hand, and that's just a blessing in itself. Just you being in your kid's life and me seeing that, man, is huge on me.
Really? Being in your kid's life? Listen, Brandon better be on this tape. Brandon better be on this tape talking about how successful he is. He better be on this tape. And if he is on this tape, I want to hear what he got to say and to see why he ended up dead. And we need to see Bird on this tape. We need to see those two men. I don't need to hear from none of these other guys. I want to know why two men under Rickey Smiley's watch is gone.
Because I know.
And he's wearing dark shades. Why don't you take off the shades, bruh? Take off them shades so they can see your eyes, bruh. Come on now. Yeah, he's grooming men. Yep.
I would like to be there for people as well and help out as many people as you help as well. So you've been a positive impact on my life. Because it goes back to you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to be there. You and my dad were good friends, but you didn't have to spend time with me and my brothers. You didn't have to spend time with me. You didn't have to take us in and take us places. You didn't have to do that. But I appreciate you for doing that. And I appreciate all the times and all the memories we got, man. I just want to say thank you, Unc, and I love you.
Terrell, running back coach, Clay Chalk.
Wow, wow, wow. So, more people, more recruiters. Now he's back to talk a little bit more. Let's hear.
High school, father got killed, had to step up. So
his father got killed and you had to step up. Okay, now what?
I take no responsibility for his death. I didn't give him a Loratab. It was bad Loratabs floating around Birmingham, and a lot of people died this week, and a lot of people are in mental hospitals because the pills and the weed, whatever, drove everything.
Pills and the weeds, keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Drove people to mental institutions, and it's just been a flood of bad pills floating around that a lot of people are taking, and they're not recovering. A lot of people died this
Really? Okay.
weekend, and he happened to take some bad pills by his choice.
So by his choice, he took some bad pills. Now, how do we know that he took the pills? How do we know that you didn't allegedly give him those pills? How do we know that, sir? How do we know that you didn't allegedly give something to Brandon? Because Brandon appeared to have died the same way. And I find it kind of suspicious that two men died in a similar manner under your watch, sir. Because again, you are the one who had them under your roof and your care.
All of these kids say, hey, you don't need to drink. Hey, you don't need to do drugs. Hey, do what you want to do, but here's what I recommend for you. So for you to sit there, because the video should say, hey, I know we didn't agree on everything, but thank you for everything that you tried to do for my brother and you.
And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Rickey Smiley put his family business on social media as content for our entertainment. That's exactly what he do. He literally is publicizing everything about his son's death for entertainment. Monetized, ready to go. You understand? So I don't want to hear anything about anybody's mourning. Leave him alone. He's grieving. Everybody grieves differently. Save all of that nonsense and take that noise somewhere else because you sound crazy. This man was jumping and shouting and catching demon spirits in the church earlier. Do you understand me? It's all out there. I didn't need to record everything, but it's out there already.
See, when you had your run in with the law, I was the first one.
Oh, shots fired, fam. Think about that. Shots fired. He just said when you had your run-in with the law. So now he throwing shade at the woman by saying when you had run-ins with the law. Let's hear what he say.
At your mother's house trying to make sure that you was represented in court.
Wow.
Right? You forgot about how quick we forget.
Man, I tell you, I cannot stand when family do stuff like that. How many of you have family that do stuff like that to you? They throw things in your face. This is why I don't ask for handouts. This is why I don't go to family for nothing. This is why if I gotta suffer and go through hell and hot waters to make it, I'd rather suffer than go to anybody to ask them for $1. You know why? Because family love to throw things in your face. They love doing that. You know what I'm saying? You could have went to your family and borrowed $500 because you were short on your rent. And whatever reason, 6 years later, you're in an argument, right? And they'll throw that up in your face. You done paid them back. It ain't like they gave you the $500. You borrowed it and you paid it back. Okay, if I paid it back, the debt is cleared. Don't throw that in my face and tell me if it wasn't for me, you would have got put out your house. But that's how family do you. It's crazy. Let's get back to the tapes.
See, and you weren't even speaking to me at that time because you were still mad over Ron's custody hearing.
Wow.
And when you ended up with I've had legal issues, but I'm just letting you know, when you had your legal issues, I was in your mother's kitchen at 8 o'clock that morning. Your mother's sitting there at the table crying, trying to make sure that you was represented in court and trying to do what we could do to get you out.
Wow. You see how he just threw that in her face, y'all? You see how he just did that? That's crazy, man. That is crazy. He basically just threw in her face. He just kicked her in the face right there, fam. And that's what family do. They love to kick you in your face and say, hey, see, I'm the one that bailed you out when you needed it. Ha ha ha. Remember when I bailed you out in court? Remember when I paid for the attorney? Remember when I did this? You forgot, right? Now here you are trying to air out my dirty laundry. I'm going to make the world know that you were in court and you were arrested or you had some charge. That's basically what he just did. He just threw something out there that is nobody's business now. Keep in mind, this is her personal business. And he just aired it out for the public. Sad situation. And shout out to V-Dub, man. I see you in the building. Shout out to Rebel for Almighty. I see you in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Right? Let's get back to the tapes. Let's go.
Right? So don't make videos and sit here and try to pretty much go as far as to blame me
Wow.
for Ron's death.
So because Ron died and she's holding you accountable, you throw her under the bus by talking about her past and all the things you did for her. What you did for her, sir, have nothing to do with today. That's very evil. See, this is what I'm saying. People keep defending this guy, and he's not doing nothing the Bible teach. The Bible didn't tell you to go open up a can of worms on social media and talk about her arrest or court hearings and all this other junk. Why did you have to do that? I could just imagine till this day, you and her still don't talk and will never talk because she know who you really are. And see, a lot of times people in the public that watch your video, they'll look at her and think she's a bad woman when she actually may be a good woman and mourn the loss of her brother. And she know who you really are, sir.
Ron didn't just take those lower steps. This has been an issue. We've had conversations about this. Look at all the text messages, the text exchange between us.
So let me see these text messages, find out what's going on here. Let's see what we got. Move this to the side. It says, I was at Choice Pond. I got laid off. I'm starting a warehouse job beginning of next week. He says, don't lose that job. Work hard every day. No days off unless you rich. Ask for more hours. Get there early. Leave late. It's time for you to be the best you that you can be. Be the best you that you can be. Okay. We understand what he meant. Now, he said to work hard every day, no days off unless you're rich. Now, number one, you're not going to get rich at the warehouse. You're not going to get rich at the warehouse. That's not how it's going to happen. I always teach people that if you're at the 9 to 5, you're not going to get rich at the 9 to 5. You're not. The way in order for you to get ahead in life is you got to take the 9 to 5. First of all, you have to get out of debt. If you're in credit card debts, old school loans, bank loans, you got to get out of that mess. That's a pit. If you're living above your means and your mortgage is high, your rent is high, and you're overly spending, you're never going to overcome. You're going to stay in a ditch for the rest of your life. You got to take a portion of what you make and you got to put that towards something that you love. And you got to work on that on the side while going to the 9 to 5. And as you do that, learn how to monetize the thing that you love. It doesn't matter what it is. There's so many different ways to monetize the things that you love while you're going to the 9 to 5. And then what you're eventually going to have to do is you're going to have to make a choice. There's going to come a day where it's going to be either I leave the job and do what I love full time or suffer and struggle for the rest of my life. You're going to have to jump and take the leap of faith. Every successful man knows that. You understand? You're going to have to take the leap of faith. You cannot be at the 9 to 5 and trying to run a business on the side. It's not going to work. You're going to have to do one full time. That's the only way. You're going to have to go through the struggle. You have to. It's required. This is why you have to be out of debt. Make sure your credit is good, right? These are things you're supposed to establish with the 9 to 5. Don't buy nothing with your debit card. Buy it with a credit card. Pay it off. Whatever you buy it through your credit card. Establish your credit, grow your credit, build up your credit. Don't use regular money to buy anything. Everything on credit card, pay off the credit card, get your credit score going up, 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 up. Once you get out of debt, credit is good, your name is good. Now, use a portion of that income that you got coming in from that job. You save a couple of dollars, let it grow. Don't eat out, stop buying fast food. Start to save little by little by little till you got about a good 20 bands in your account. And let it just sit there. Don't spend that money. That's for your business. And then you grow little by little. Before you know it, you're going to be able to start to see income. And you're going to eventually have to leave the 9 to 5. But it's got to be strategically planned. And don't tell nobody on your job what you're doing. Don't ever tell nobody what you're doing. Don't tell nobody on your job that you're leaving. Don't tell nobody on your job that you got a plan. Don't tell nobody nothing, because there's a lot of haters out there that don't want to see you go, and they don't want to see you leave the 9 to 5. They want you to stay with them. Matter of fact, if you tell them that you're going, they're going to try to talk you out of that business idea that you have. Keep your dreams and your goals to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important that you protect it at all costs. Everybody that you talk to is not your friend. I promise you, if you just practice or follow those tips, you're going to see a major difference. But you got to have a strategic plan on what you want to do, and it got to be something you can monetize. And you have to end up leaving the 9 to 5 in order to be really successful. In other words, once you're making whatever you're making from the thing you love, once it reaches the level of where it is balanced to what you normally was making at your job, that is pretty much your time to say, okay, it's time for me to cut ties with this job. That way you can focus all your energy, all your time on the thing you love. I promise you, if you do that, you're going to not only have the time and the freedom to breathe, to do the things you love, but you're going to have the energy to do more than what you plan on doing. I promise you. These are facts. But if you follow what Smiley is telling you by going to the job, work hard all day like a slave, take no days off, that's crazy. You need time off to breathe and recoup. If you don't take no days off, you're going to burn out. And if you're just taking overtime, they're going to kill you with taxes. So you're basically working for nothing. You understand? He's telling the young man to do that because he figure, hey, I'm just trying to keep him off the streets. But that young man is going to never get to the level of Rickey Smiley. It's not going to happen. If he don't have a plan for success, he's going to be at that warehouse forever. It got to be like Alcatraz with some of you brothers and sisters. You got to have a plan of escape. Because at that job, it's not going to last forever. They could lay you off. They could get rid of you. Things can change. You understand what I'm saying? So don't get so dependent upon it. Yeah, you got it right now. Use it to your advantage to open up new doors for yourself. You can do it. That's all I got to say on that. Let's get back to the tapes. All right. Let's see where we at. Let me see where we at here. Let's get back to the tapes.
Everything that was going on. Yes, I challenged him to do his hair a certain way and to make sure that he was neat because he was representing me.
Wow, so he was representing you. Notice the caption on the post. It says, I got an appointment to get my hair did. I don't like when a man's saying he got an appointment to get his hair did. That sounds mighty questionable based on the term get your hair did. There's certain things that women normally say. I crack jokes with that type of saying, but to see a man actually write it to another man, I don't understand that. Men would say, I'm going to get my hair cut, or get my hair done, like especially if you're doing locks. But he said he's going to get his hair did. I don't know.
With my connection, I'm the one buying the plane ticket. I'm the one providing the apartment. I'm the one providing the furniture.
Notice he's saying he's the one providing the furniture, the plane ticket, everything else. Let's read what he says. He says, hey, Mr. Ivan, this is Ronald. Good afternoon. I wanted to let you know my house burned down in December. I lost my birth certificate, my social security card, and my ID. I've replaced all of those items except for my social security. It's coming in the mail. I won't let you know. Wait, I want to let you know. I am looking forward to getting down there. Okay. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Says, good afternoon, Ronald. We are ready for you once you are here. So I guess it looks like he's calling or responding to Ivan at this point. Now, again, Smiley just finished talking about all these things that he's been doing in terms of paying rent, buying him clothes, all this other stuff. Everything is for the praise of men.
I'm the one who's gonna, hey, let's go down here and find you a little used car or a bicycle where you can get back and forth to work. I'm invested. So when you invested, whatever you ask them to do, they're supposed to do it.
Wow. So because you invested in the young man, you felt that he's supposed to do whatever you tell him to do. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So Smiley believed that because he invested time, money, and resources, that Bird is supposed to just bow down and kiss his boots and do whatever he wants. Right? He's supposed to just put on a dress. If you tell him to put on a dress, he should put on a dress too, right? Like you did, right? You did put on a dress, sir. You did. How many of you folks seen him with a dress? Put a 1 in the chat if you did. Put a 1 in the chat if you did. So, that being said, he says, I appreciate it, but I don't want, no, look at this. Wow, wow, wow. See, everybody saw him with that dress on, so I'm not making this up. You understand? This is public records. You could even find this information if you want, if you just do your Google search, right? See, some people didn't see it. Yeah. I actually found out from reading other chat rooms. And I said, what? Hold up, fam. And lo and behold, yes, indeed. I couldn't believe it. Yes, indeed. They got him too. Man, oh man. Dave Chappelle was right, fam. It's crazy. Let me see. It goes on. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is interesting. Bird says, I appreciate it, but I don't want... He meant to say want to cut my hair to be accepted by anyone. Thanks. Have a blessed day. Now that should have been it right there. It should have been over. Right? The young man told Rickey, I appreciate it, but I don't want to cut my hair to be accepted by anyone. Thanks. Have a blessed day. So at that point, he makes a lot of sense. Why do I need to cut my locks? Again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you're coming in the building and you're not understanding what's going on, the young man on the right side of the screen was pressured and forced by Rickey Smiley to cut off his locks in order to get a job. The job never required this. It was Rickey that required this. So in this particular message here, as we can see on the screen, he's letting Rickey Smiley know, I don't want to cut my locks to be accepted by anyone. Have a blessed day. And now check out Smiley on March 19th at 3:43 p.m. Has nothing to do with accepting you, but has everything to do with being professional and presentable. Birmingham mentality. Wow. Are y'all seeing the oppression? Now, again, what did the Bible say? What did the Bible say about this? It clearly says, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. You see that? So, that being said, he just told the brother, it has everything to do with being professional and presentable. So you just told the young man that he's not presentable because of his hair. Imagine that. You're not presentable because of your hair. Your hair have nothing to do with your skill set. Your hair should have nothing to do with your skill set or your work ethic. I don't care about nobody's hair when it comes to a job. I care about their expertise, their skill sets, their knowledge. That's what corporations and companies hire people for. It's for their talents, what they bring to the company that can advance the company. If I'm setting up a staff, I want the best and most educated staff members, not just people that got degrees, but people that got life experience, knowledge, skills that they can bring to the table to help further the advancement of the company. That's the whole purpose of having a workforce. You understand? He said that he's not, in order, In other words, cutting your locks will make you more professional and presentable. Presentable to who? Because the company never told him to cut his locks. They never did.
Period, point blank. He said he didn't want to do it, but then at the end, if you read the text message, he said, hey, go ahead and cash out me.
Now, why did he say that? Because you pressured him. You forced him. He said, I got an appointment to get my hair did, which means done, which means to get a haircut. He didn't do it because he wanted to. Listen, Rickey Smiley, you basically mentally molested this young man. Straight like that. Telling a young man that he need to cut his locks is the equivalent of molestation, because he didn't want to do it. And anything that you don't want to do and you're being forced to do is abuse. Do you understand me? It's just like these parents that you see them on social media cutting their son's hair bald or cutting their daughter's hair off bald to punish them on social media. That is cruel, evil of any parent to do. You understand? And this is what's going down, fam. This is what's going on. Let's get back to the tape.
Or whatever. So I cashed out him $100.
Wow, you cashed apped him $100. Now, it don't cost $100 to cut off no locks. But notice, it goes on and it says, hey, Mr. Marvin, this afternoon, Ronald, good afternoon. I wanted to let you know my house burned down. I think we read this already. I lost my birth certificate. We already saw that already. Except for my Social Security, it's coming in the mail. I want to let you know I am looking forward to getting down there. Okay, looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. I think we read that already.
To get his Social Security card, license, got his plane ticket, everything set, ready to go. He didn't want to cut his dread, but then he agreed to cut it. Look at
wow. And he's showing you all of these receipts as if though this makes him clear from being responsible. Right? So now he says, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. What's the plan? Finna go and get a haircut. Wow. So you broke this man down, broke down his manhood, right? In order for him to take his locks. Yeah, he force cut him. Like if you go to the penitentiary or you go to the military and they cut off your hair, that's basically what happened here.
the message. So don't lie. So there's all your facts. And I just wanted to present.
It's not that she lied. She never lied. You pressured the young man to cut off his locks. That's what happened there. And you used your power and your resources and your money to do it. You did it for that. That's sad.
Some young men that had the same rules, discipline, and structure that I gave to run and tried to give to all of y'all.
Wow.
Or whatever. And he just made a bad decision and he paid for it with his life. And I am devastated. And I understand.
You're not devastated, sir. Please stop the cap. You're not devastated. Stop. I didn't even see you being devastated at your own son's funeral. You're not devastated. You wasn't devastated at all. You were the cause of that man dying. You pressured that man. He grew into depression. You knew what he was up against. You knew his struggles and you didn't care. And you still didn't learn nothing from that because the same thing happened to Brandon. So please stop the cap.
You're grieving. And I'm not mad at you because, hell, I understand you're emotional and you want to blame somebody. Blame the motherfucker that sold him the pills. And blame him for taking a pill from somebody and he don't even know what's in it.
Well, how do you know he took a pill from somebody? That's the question we want to know. How do you know that? How do you know that, sir? How do you know he took a pill? How do we know you never gave him the pill? Allegedly. See? How do we know you didn't have something to do with it? Because he didn't want to follow your way. Have you ever thought about that? This is crazy. Let's get back to the tape.
He got to have some responsibility in this, even in death.
So you blamed him for his death. What about Brandon?
Responsible. My dad died the same way.
Your dad died the same way? By pills? See, ladies and gentlemen, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. Are y'all seeing this? Rickey Smiley just said that his dad died the same way. So now it's very publicly clear that popping pills is something that runs in the family. Y'all not seeing this? I'm just bringing out the information for y'all to all understand. He just said his dad died of the same thing.
He didn't OD, but he was on drugs, and he went to New York and got caught up in something and got himself killed.
Wow.
Drugs run through our whole family.
He just said it, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Wow. There we go. There we go. He said drugs run in our whole family. Even with money, drugs still runs in the whole family.
Plus, got issues in dealing with this stuff. I'm trying to break the generational curse.
Wow.
So don't make no video. You can make it, but it's just my response.
So you're trying to break the generational curse. You can't break a generational curse with natural means. The only way you can break a generational curse is if your family is obeying the commandments of the Most High Yah in the Bible. That's the only way. You understand? The only way to break generational curses is if the family is obeying God. All you folks going to church praising Jesus, and yet no curses is broken yet. Something's wrong with the family. That tells me that the family is not obeying the Bible. It don't make no sense all of y'all up in church praising Jesus, and everybody got curses on them still. That means that you're not obeying. These are just facts. I'm just saying, the Bible tells you that if you obey the commandments, you're going to be blessed in the city, blessed in the field. Blessed shall be your barns shall be filled with plenty, bursting out new wine, if you're obeying the commandments. This is what the Bible says. So if I'm obeying the scriptures and my family is cursed, something's wrong with my family. That means they're not following God, which is typical of the religion that most of these people follow. They go to church to be entertained. They don't go to church to actually get the truth. Again, I'm speaking the truth to you right now. I'm not here to tickle your ears. I'm here to tell you the real. Nobody's going to heaven by singing songs in church. You got to obey the commandments that are in the Bible. That's the only way you're going to make it to the kingdom. That's the only way. You're not going to get to heaven because, you thought you were a good person. You're going to get there when you obey the commandments of the Most High. That's the only way. And Rickey Smiley family don't obey God. They don't. That's why so much heartache and pain is running through the family tree, because he's involved most likely in darkness. His sons are reaping the curses because of his sins. He have not yet repented of things that he's dealing with. And the curses is on the third and fourth generation. And this is what's happening, all according to the Bible.
I love you. I love your mother and your sister. And I definitely love Ron and Traven. Period, point blank. Anything you need for him, anything you need to make sure that he have the burial that he deserved, because at the end of the day, he didn't do everything right, but he was a very respectful kid. And I'll make sure he's straight and make sure he have everything he need in his last in this last act.
Listen, fam, I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, fam. This is just real talk, real spit. A lot of us brothers, when we're coming up in the game, a lot of us, we get connected to the wrong crowd, the wrong thing, and sometimes we just need a brother that's gonna pull us to the side and just keep it real with us. You know what I mean? Keep it real with us, put us on the right path, not trying to bully us into submission, not trying to belittle us, but sit down and give us some game. Sit us down and say, listen, brother, let me talk to you for a second. And just kind of just spit some game and be like, look, fam, I see you out here hanging with these dudes doing your thing. I get it. You young, you know what I'm saying? You just trying to figure out life. But I'm here to tell you, man, these young brothers right here, man, they're gonna lead you down. You know what I mean? You can do better than this. You know? You can do way better than this, bro. And just try to talk to him, talk some sense. You know what I mean? Speak his language. A lot of times you parents, man, y'all don't know how to speak the language of the youth. Y'all too busy, you know, speaking the old school. And I get it. You probably from the old school, but you're from that religious old fool mentality, which is destroying the youth. You got to understand the language of these youngins and spit some game. Let them know, look, life is crazy out there. The streets, oh, it's hard. And give them those choices and be like, look, if you make this choice, this is what's going to happen. If you make that choice, that's going to happen. But I'm here for you. I'm going to be here for you. Just know that if you make this choice, this is going to be the outcome. And give them something to think about. Let them learn how to fly on their own. Don't push them to fly. Let them fly on their own. That's the only way. But if you try to force a young man to become something he don't want to be, bad move right there, sir. Bad move. Some people said in the chat not to address him as sir. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says to do unto others as you want them to do unto you. He's an older man. So that's how I move. I call everybody sir. Young men, older men. It doesn't matter. If you're a man, I'm going to address you as sir because that's out of respect. Do you understand? Let's get back to the tapes.
And you're not the only one grieving. I'm grieving. So imagine raising.
You're not grieving. How are you grieving? The man is gone. You're not grieving for him.
Kid in your house, and hell, I got to look forward to a casket too.
Wow.
So I feel terrible. I can't even cry because.
Notice he said I can't even cry. He can't even cry. Isn't that the same thing that he did to Brandon? Can't even cry. I'm telling you, man. It's crazy. This is crazy, man. He said, I can't even cry. I can't even cry.
I did everything I could to help him. I would cry if I didn't do nothing to help him. I did everything I could to help.
Oh, so if you didn't do anything to help him, you would cry, but because you did everything you had to do for him, you're not crying. Wow, it makes a lot of sense now. No wonder you didn't grieve or cry at the funeral for your son, because you figured you did everything for him. He didn't take none of your advice. I mean, look at him right there in the photo. 2 men gone. Isn't that a shame? 2 men gone. It's crazy.
So I'm not upset and bent out of shape or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna cry later. It'll hit me later on.
Really?
And then Uncle Herbert died today. So I'm dealing with a video you got floating.
Herbert, listen. That man was elderly. It was his time to go. These are young men that are dying, sir. Young men. The man that you just showed, he lived his life. He probably was in his 80s. He lived his life. It was his time. Do you understand? These are younger men. They didn't even get to see their life. Young men. And I don't know how old Bird was. Do anybody have that kind of information? How old he was? I mean, being that Brandon was 32, there's a possibility that Ron probably was in his late 20s, probably. I don't know, because they hanged out, so I would figure they're around the same age. Let's go.
On Facebook, and my father figured everything that I was trying to be to Ron, the person that was that person to me, just died this morning. And I'm okay. I'm a man. I can handle it.
So let me get this straight. When somebody die, you're just supposed to handle it and not feel no emotion. Fam, you're crazy. At this point, you sound like a narcissist. And I don't even like throwing the word narcissist around unless somebody have been medically diagnosed. But you literally sound delusional. You just said that you lost somebody this morning that was sort of like a mentor, and you're a man, so you're not going to show no emotion. You're okay. You're good. You're not going to cry. You did the same thing for Ron, and now you're doing the same thing for your son. So you just don't show no emotion, anything when anybody die. That's crazy. Something wrong. You know? Yeah, or bipolar. Yeah. Let's get back to the show. Let's go.
My granddaddy raised a good one over here.
Really?
So, you know, I loved him. I love all of y'all. I don't have no beef, no issues.
No beef, no issue. You got a beef and an issue. That's why you responded. And you threw her under the bus. You told all the world that she got in trouble with the law and you had to get the attorney and all this other stuff, and how she's mad because you took custody of Ron. These are all the things you said. Again, this is a public trial. You're under investigation. We're holding you to public scrutiny. We're trying to get justice for Ron and Brandon at the same time to make the world understand that you have a part in why the young man passed away. He was under a lot of stress based on what Brandon said in the video. Brandon even talked about it. Your son that passed away even talked about how Bird was under a lot of anxiety and stress and depression because of you, especially when you aired him out on social media and embarrassed him in front of the world. This is what you did, sir.
My kid's upset, but I'm sure you don't care. You know, and yes, I was upset with him because he was getting ready to make over 6 figures. If he would have hustled and did everything right, the way we had everything set up and lined up for him. But I couldn't let the mentality go. I got to be me. Okay, but being me wasn't working. It wasn't working. The dreads wasn't working.
Wow.
Being in Birmingham wasn't working. And all of this stuff and not getting out of your own way.
So you basically so basically here's what it is. Because you cut off your locks because it wasn't working for you, you figure, hey, he needed to do the same thing. The job that you was trying to hook him up with didn't require the young man to cut off his locks. That was something you did.
Or whatever cost you your life. Because if I have any regret, the only thing I should have did was got in his face, had him come over to the house. Hey, you leaving today. Here's your plane ticket. Let's go. If I would have just got him out of Birmingham 2 or 3 days earlier to save his life, and maybe he would have saw something different down here between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, like another person that I mentored that moved from Southtown Project that lived down here in Miami that's doing well for herself, from Southtown Project to Miami, and followed my playbook. And now she down here with a car, about to get a car, got her own apartment, and she worked her ass out. She knew Ron. I don't never point people in the wrong direction. Saved her life because had she not moved.
So you saving everybody's lives, but you didn't save Brandon's life? Your only son, your well, not your only, but your firstborn. You ain't saved him. You out here talking about you saving lives. I'm seeing lives dying. I'm like, what's going on here?
Down here to Miami and get set up with what she's set up with, Melissa, better known as Mo Frazier on Facebook, she would be dead by now.
Wow.
And me and her agreed to that. She said it.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of family this guy is running, but there seems to be some sort of generational curse that's going around. And this is just sad.
So, man, God bless y'all. God bless our family.
See, the reason why we have to review these tapes, ladies and gentlemen, is because I need for you to understand what's really going on and not to be led by, what is that word we always use? Being starstruck. Sometimes people are starstruck and they think that certain people they may have seen in the media and the news, on radio, you think that they're perfect until you really get to know them.
We had 2 deaths in 1 week.
2 deaths in 1 week. Are y'all listening to this madness?
Show you how funny this is.
I don't think it's funny, sir.
I sent my Uncle Herbert that died this morning some food by Ron. Hey, Ron, come by here, pick up this food, take it over Uncle Herbert's house. He said, yes, sir. He came and got the food, the seafood. Ron kept some for himself. I cooked for him. I made him some chicken and dumplings. Every time he asked me to cook something, even to this day, I cooked it for him. I made him the food. He sat over there and talked about trying to figure out how he's going to get to see his daughter and just everything. Everything. We don't agree on everything. I cuss all my older kids out.
Wow, he just confessed right there, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I cuss all of my older kids out. His own words. I didn't make it up.
If I do what I need to do, because that's what the coach do. We're not in here to kiss everybody on the cheek and make everybody feel good. Sometimes it takes tough love to get somebody in the right spot.
Really?
Iron sharpens iron.
That's not, listen, you're quoting scriptures, iron sharpen iron, but you're not using the word of the Most High to do the sharpening. See, this is where he messing up. See, when the Bible talks about iron sharpen iron and all this other stuff, it's talking about when you use the Most High's scriptures, when you use the word of the Most High. The Bible says to raise up your child in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You understand? So if you're not using the word of the Most High, the scriptures, to instruct men and women, then there's no iron sharpening iron. It's not. Instead, you're using something else.
When men sharpening iron, women need to stay out of the way and let men handle men.
Really?
You want to have a conversation, call me and I can explain to you what I'm trying to accomplish. And that's it. I say this with no anger. I say this with all love. I hate that he passed away. And he ain't the first one that's stayed up under my roof that's died. He the third kid that was raised under my roof to pass away.
Wow. He said Ron was the third kid to pass away under his roof, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. This is crazy. I thought it was just Ron and Brandon. But now we see that 4 black men have died under the roof of Rickey Smiley. We just bringing out the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't make this up. I'm just playing the tape, reviewing the tape, commentary and criticism. He just said it with his own mouth that other men have died. Listen carefully.
And he ain't the first one that's stayed up under my roof that's died. He the third kid that was raised under my roof to pass away.
Wow. The third. Are y'all seeing this, ladies and gentlemen? Did I make this up? I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you just heard that. Just put a 1 if you can. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard what he said, because maybe it's just me that heard it. I don't know. Maybe the audio's on mute and you didn't hear anything. You know, I need to make sure that you heard it, because this is crazy. This is new to me. You know, he just said that this is the third young man that died in his house under his watch. Oh, so y'all did hear it. Oh, okay. And also to everybody in the chat, so that you don't drive the moderators crazy, avoid any profanity in the chat. If you're listening right now, right, if you're in the clouds, you're viewing and you want to post a comment, avoid profanity in the chat. Use the asterisk symbols. Use the asterisk symbols to hide any sort of cuss words. So if you wanted to cuss, right, then use this symbol to hide whatever the word is. Like put like A and then you put asterisks, or if it's the B word, put asterisks to cover a few of the letters. That way it's good for the algorithm. Because if you keep cussing, the moderator gonna time you out. If you do it again, he gonna block you. We don't want you to get blocked. We want you to rock out, enjoy yourself, have a good time, share your thoughts. You know, that way we can engage and talk and have this conversation about these issues. So yeah, no profanity in the chat. Keep it clean, right? All right, let's get back to the tape. He just said that Ron is the third brother that died under his watch. So now Brandon would make the fourth. This is crazy, y'all.
One kid spent the night one time and he got himself in trouble. Saw him in juvenile and he got caught trying to steal somebody's car and he died.
Wow.
And he spent the night with me one night when he came over with Brandon's cousin.
He spent the night with you? What? I didn't say it, fam. That's what he said. I don't know what's going on. It seems like everybody is at your house and they keep dying.
And he was in a pamper. He slept in the bed with me.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. I know I didn't just hear that, right? Did I just hear that? He said pamper? I hope he mean that. Wait. I'm confused, man. It's too much. It's too much. Let's rewind that back. Let's rewind that back. Hear what he had to say. Let me see.
Kid that was raised under my roof to pass away. One kid spent the night one time and he got himself in trouble. Saw him in juvenile and he got caught trying to steal somebody's car and he died. And he spent the night with me one night when he came over with Brandon's cousin, and he was in a pamper. He slept in the bed with me. Next time I saw him, he was in jail.
What? What in the world is he talking about? Slept in the bed with a pamper? The same bed. Listen, y'all, I'm telling you, listen, man. Did I say anything? I ain't say nothing, fam. I'm just reviewing the tape. I don't know, but this ain't sounding right. He couldn't sleep in some other bed? Like, what's going on? Y'all, I'm not even trying to be funny, but hey, it's just, remember earlier in the stream, I said there could be a possibility of these young men, something could have been going down. Now, again, I ain't saying nothing, but it just looks a certain way. At least to my ears and eyes, it just doesn't sound right.
Steal somebody's car and he died. And he spent the night with me one night when he came over with Brandon's cousin, and he was in a pamper. He slept in the bed with me.
He slept in the bed with you, in a pamper. Okay, let's see where this goes, because my mind went somewhere else. But
next time I saw him, he was in juvenile. Then next thing you know, I'm at his funeral.
What?
Then I had a neighbor.
Now he's displaying road rage. Y'all saw that? He displayed a little road rage right there by honking the horn. But you're talking to the camera and you're getting mad with the car in front of you. Like, this is something else, man. This is wild, y'all. Again, I'm watching the video with y'all. This is my first time ever looking at this particular video here. Maybe some of y'all reviewed it already. This is my first time looking at it.
His son passed away.
Everybody passing away under his watch. This is crazy. And if you're into clouds, you're in the stream, you're enjoying the show, do me a favor and click the like button. It goes a long way. It helps with the algorithm. You know, if you would be so kind to click the like button. Likes are for free.
And he OD'd.
Wow. So another person OD'd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, y'all can't see what's going on? This is crazy. Another person OD'd. Wow. This is amazing. Everybody's ODing in his family.
Never come over, and so I don't know what it is. All y'all kids out here doing.
Rickey, have you ever dawned that it may be you that's the problem and not these kids? Have it ever dawned on you that it seems as if though all these young men are strung out on some sort of drug, popping pills, ODing, and it's all under your watch? Maybe you should step down from being a mentor or whatever you're trying to do with these men, because it's very evident that you're the problem. It's not these men. I think it's your guidance. I think it's your guidance that is putting these men into a depression state that's causing them to pop pills, and somebody's prescribing this medication for them.
I'm doing this stuff, man. I don't know what to say, but you can't say nothing.
Wow.
You get criticized for checking these young men who are trying to save their life, and you get criticized by women.
Wow.
For trying to save their life.
So now he just took a shot at women because a woman called him out. See, you have to give it up to the sisters, because a lot of times women have good intuition, and I'm talking about sisters when they're in their right mind, when they are thinking in a logical way. They have good intuition to judge. And she called him out on his BS. None of the men did. So he took a shot at the women.
Now, a lot of people all over the country getting ready to go pick out a casket, write up an obituary, and go to the cemetery and pick out a burial spot for somebody that's supposed to be burying you.
But you said in another video that parents should take out a life insurance policy on their sons and daughters if they're rebellious, so that you can collect a $250,000 check, so that you can take vacations with the family to have a good time, and also to pay off your debts. That's what you said, sir. So why would you encourage families to take out life insurance policies for their loved ones if you believe that the sons and daughters should be burying their family members, meaning their parents, not the other way around? If you're a father, you shouldn't be burying your son or putting life insurance policies on them, because, sir, that would mean that you're anticipating the death of your own relatives. That's what that would imply. Now, it's one thing if you put a life insurance policy on yourself to help the family in case you departed. That would be reasonable. But if you're putting policies on your children in case they die, right, because they're rebellious, that means you're banking and gambling on the fact that you can't wait for them to die so you could cash in.
So God bless everybody. We got 2 funerals this week, an uncle and a nephew. I'm devastated, but hell.
Yeah, he did say take them to Disney World, to some sort of amusement park, so they can have a good time after your relatives die. This is what he said. Listen, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you actually view all my live streams regarding the case of Brandon, Smiley, and all of the situations, I guarantee you, I promise you, you will be edified beyond measure. You'll walk away from each stream with so much knowledge and understanding of how the world is. It'll make you come back for more and more and more. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, subscribe today. This is the best reactionary channel on YouTube, I promise you. There is no other channel on YouTube that will break down videos like Ringo TV Reactions. None. You understand? I am the most thorough and the most detailed content creator on YouTube. Let's get back to the tapes.
I'm a man. I got to suck this shit up. I'll cry later.
Wow. I'll cry later. I'm a man. That's what he said. In other words, men don't cry. Men don't got time to be emotional when someone loses a life. That's crazy. That's crazy, fam. That is crazy. Like, listen, fam. Let me tell you something. I told y'all this story already, that when my third daughter had a seizure a couple of years back when she was a little younger, I cried because I didn't know what to do when it happened. She's okay. Everything is good. My point is, when it happened, I thought I was about to lose my daughter. And I cried while she was going through what she was going through because I didn't know what to do. Right? So for him to say what he said, it just shows me that he's cold-hearted, because I was crying because I was panicking. So how is it this man can lose a son, lose relatives, and act like it don't exist? Like there's no emotion, no feeling. That's callous, like just cold. I don't understand that. Yeah, heartless. It's sad.
No, I got on the phone, had to talk about what I need to do as far as my Uncle Herbert. We had this conversation. He prepared me for all of this. So I'm good. I'm blessed. Trying to find a flight to get home.
He's always on flights to get home, and he's always good when it comes to holding back emotions.
Whatever. So I'm just going to enjoy my day, get on the plane, go on about my business, and that's it. And that's my response. God bless everybody. God bless you and your family. And I hate he died. So thank y'all for watching. God bless y'all.
Wow.
It was a big.
Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we got another one. Oh yeah. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. If you think that was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh man. You ready for this one, man? It gets more interesting. Trust and believe, it gets way more interesting, fam. Let's turn this one off. Now, hold on a second. I want you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to pay attention to this. Now, again, this brother on the right is gone. I want you to read how Rickey Smiley addressed this young man. I want you to listen to this. I want you in the jury, in the court of public opinion, to listen to how Rickey Smiley addressed his nephew. You ready? He addressed him as a mother effer in this next clip. That's right. Let's bring it out. Let's bring out the receipts. We got work to do. Let's bring this out. Okay, where we at? Okay, let me move this to the side over here. Let's go. Where we at? Okay, it's paused. Let me see. Did I turn the volume up? Oh, no, I did not. Okay, turn the volume up. Make sure the audio is good. Hold on. Let me see. Video 2. Check the audio. Okay, everything looks good. Everything is good. All right. Now, read what's on the screen when it comes up. Please understand, this is not my doing. This is on his platform, ladies and gentlemen. This is on his platform. I did not do any of this. Let's go.
I feel like I need to explain my last post.
Listen to this. This is from his video on his channel. He said, I just hooked up a family member with a 6-figure salary opportunity. Mother effer turned it down because he don't want to cut his dreads. Wow. This is what he posts, y'all. This is on his channel. This is on his channel. That's not my editing. I did not write no text. I did not write none of this. I did not write none of what you see in there. Let me see. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Let me see. Hold on. Kind of doing something in the background real quick. Hold on. Let me turn this off for a second here. Turn this off for a second so I can do something. Let me see. Trying to see something here. Hold on. Let me See if I can find this thing real quick. Where is it? Is this it? Yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I could do this. Oh, I can't change the title. Let me see. Oh, I could do this here. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, you put that. That's what you did. No. That's his video. That video can be searched right on YouTube. The title of that video is this. That's the title of the video that I just put in the chat to prove to you that that's his video. You understand? So if you just take that title and put it in the search and play the video, you'll see everything right there pop up on the screen. No cap. When you come to Ringo TV Reactions, I provide you nothing with facts. I don't provide you BS. And I don't make up stories. Right? So these are his words. He posts this on his YouTube, on his Facebook, on his Instagram. He says, I just hooked up a family member with a 6-figure salary opportunity. Mother effer turned it down because he don't want to cut his locks. Now, how you going to address a man as a mother effer and he's your nephew? And to think about it, the man is gone right now. You see what I mean? This is that hazing stuff that they do, man. This is sad, but hey, let's see what he got. Let's see what's going on.
Y'all come on in. So I just put out a post, and I don't care who get mad. Fuck it.
Wow. He said, I don't care who get mad. F it. I don't care who get mad.
So I just put out a post. I hooked up a family member with a job.
Wow.
That could potentially pay him 6 figures if he hustled.
No. The job that you was providing or hooking him up with does not pay him 6 figures. No, it don't. You're saying that it pay him 6 figures if he hustle, which means he got to work his ass off in order to do overtime, working multiple shifts, working all night, working all day. Then he can earn 6 figures, but that's going to come with blood, sweat, and tears. His salary is not 6 figures, sir. So please stop the cap. Let's go.
He hustle. So a family member damn near homeless.
Wow, so you put him out to the public that he's damn near homeless. Think about what he's doing to the young man. He's telling social media that his family member, who is Ron, that he's damn near homeless.
Trying to set you up where you could, for the first time, get your own place. For the first time, probably, get out of the city that you live in, so you can move to another city to have an opportunity to grow. Those of us that have had to live in another city have had an opportunity to grow and get out of your comfort zone, get away from your friends, family members, get away from the rat race, so you have an opportunity to grow and man up and become a man and grow.
So you wanted him to man up, get out of his city, and grow. Interesting situation. So ladies and gentlemen of the jury, based on what you heard thus far, it is very evident and clear that Rickey Smiley disrespected this young man on social media, which drove him in deeper into depression and anxiety, which is the same issue that his younger son is struggling with. I believe that's Malik, because the last time in his other videos that he had throughout the week, he said that his younger son, that he's fighting to keep him alive. This is what he said, right? And again, all we're doing is examining everything that he put on social media, holding it up to the public. Let's get back to the tapes.
So I said, hey, all right, you leave tomorrow, you got everything packed up? He said, yes, I'm packed up. I said, okay, here's one of the things we talked about earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and get your plane ticket and get you out of here, and I put you on a flight, send you on down there. The man that got you set up already, got you a roommate, cause the places you're gonna be working, man, the tips be like, you can, if you hustle, man, you can get I've seen people get $200 to $500 in tips every day, plus your salary, right?
Plus your salary, which mean that his salary starting the job is not 6 figures. You said that you have a 6-figure opportunity. If it's not 6 figures on paper, then it's not 6 figures, sir. That means he would have to work his ASS off in order to get near 6 figures. And then after taxes, it's still not 6 figures. So it's not 6 figures.
So, you know, I see a couple of people on the, you know, on the comments. I said, hey, so when you go down there, I already called the people. I talked to the people.
Now listen carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this part. Listen up.
I need you to go to the barbershop and get your hair cut and go ahead and get your fresh start, because one thing about dreadlocks, they can grow back. Go down there with a nice, fresh, clean, neat look. And because you represent me, if you don't want it, don't agree to take it.
Wow, so he represents you. He said if you don't agree with it, don't take it. So in order to take the offer, he had to cut off his locks. Think about what he's doing to this young man. He's humiliating him. These are hazing rituals. He's doing everything he learned in the fraternity, he's doing to these young men.
So you said, okay, cool. So when it come down to it, I say, hey, before I get this plane ticket, go to the barbershop, take a picture of yourself, send it to me. I'll go ahead and book your flight to make sure that you are on point and that you're looking out. Now, the job don't require that. I required it.
Wow. He said the job don't require that. I require that. You heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. Listen carefully. Let's roll the tapes.
Sure that you are on point and that you're looking out. Now, the job don't require that. I required it.
Wow.
I required it.
Man.
Right? Again, in my book, what I talked about, like I said, I was on stage at a show.
He said, I require it. Not a job. The job don't require it. I require it. Isn't that amazing? So that means this young man died in vain. He died trying to please Rickey Smiley, y'all. My goodness.
Hard was the headline. He said, hey man, you need to go. You can't come tomorrow. Because I had a brand new jogging suit on that I had just bought from Hibbins. He said, when we perform tomorrow, you need to put a suit on. Right?
Wow.
This is all about your attitude. Don't take up for this stuff. Start taking up for men, for young men. So I didn't wait until tomorrow. I went that night. I introduced him and I came back with the suit on that night just to close the show. And from that point on, he saw I was serious.
So basically you kissed butt by putting on a suit, doing what you're told, kissing ASS in order to get the gig. And now you're abusing your nephew the same exact way you were. Isn't that amazing? Are y'all seeing what's happening here?
And the fact is, I'm where I am because of the decision that I made to listen to somebody that was trying to help me or whatever. I thought the jogging suit was great. It was a brand new jogging suit, but he didn't think the jogging suit was appropriate for his show. So I don't think your dreadlock is appropriate for you representing me, because if I'm on the show with him, I'm representing him because it's his show and he's the headliner. He required a suit. Go put the fucking suit on and keep your mouth shut and humble yourself and do what the man asks you to do.
Wow. Oh, man. Oh, man. Are y'all seeing this, man? This is crazy, bro. He told him to shut the F up, put on the suit, do as you're told, humble yourself. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. This is, man,
He ain't trying to help. He taught me a lesson. Then when you get to where you are, you can wear your hair, your clothes, whatever the way you want to wear it.
So cut off your locks to kiss behind to get the gig. Once you get to where you are, then you could grow your locks. So basically you're teaching your nephew how to kiss ASS. That's basically, you're teaching him to be a coward. That's not going to give a man any confidence. You're teaching him that he has to bow his knee and lick boots in order to get a gig.
Right? And it's crazy, and it's just an opportunity of a lifetime. It's crazy. No, the job didn't require it. I required it. I'm not buying no plane ticket. I'm not sending nobody nowhere on no job interview with looking a certain way. If that's your style and that's your thing, whatever, then go out and find your own job. You the one told me that you needed to help, some help, and you want to put some money into the system.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen to that part again, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness.
No job interview with looking a certain way. If that's your style and that's your thing, whatever, then go out and find your own job. You the one told me that you needed to help, some help, and you want to put some money into the system or whatever, and get you something regular or whatever. So I made some of my connections and made a phone call to help you do what you want to do. It's the craziest thing in the world. And ladies, stop making excuses for young black men. Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way. This female masculinity shit or whatever. Hey, if a man tells another man, a younger man, what to do and how to do it for his own good, then it needs to be respected.
Wow. Wow, isn't that amazing? Y'all see how this all comes out? He's teaching the young man self-hate, teaching him to hate his locks, to disrespect himself. He's basically teaching the nephew, you got to become another person in order to get ahead in life. You basically wear a dress to please other people. Then once you get to success, then you could take the skirt off. Isn't that amazing? Right? It's crazy. But yet I'm the bad guy because I report the news.
Period. It's crazy to me. Some dreadlocks? Or pull your pants up? Or be presentable? I said, it ain't about nobody not accepting you who you are. It's about being professional and presentable. You finna go work at a yacht club.
Now, I agree with him that as a black man, you should pull your pants up and be presentable. That I agree with. What I don't agree with you telling the man he got to cut off his locks and put on a mother effing suit in order to please other people. You know what I mean? If it's not required in the job for him to do all of that stuff, why are you pressuring him to do that? That's wrong.
Millions and millions of dollars walking in and out of there. One thing Gary with the T taught me a long time ago, when I first moved to Dallas, he said, you need to go on with that Birmingham shit. Don't come to Dallas with a Birmingham mentality. If you're in Dallas, don't go to Birmingham with a Dallas mentality. Make the adjustment and change and figure out where you need to be professionally and just try to do better and do something different from what you're doing. Like Gary had to tell me, I showed up in Dallas in a fucking Tahoe, sitting on some things with lights under the bottom. And what he did was he took me over to the competing radio station.
The competing radio station, and showed you how to keep up with the Joneses by comparing you to other men. Let's go.
And let me look in the parking lot and see what they was driving and how they was doing and how they was dressing and how they was acting. He said, Gary with the T taught me this. He said, when you look like you got money, money will come to you. I understand you trying to keep it real or whatever, but man, listen, you need to dress better. You need to drive better. You need to do better. Stop being cheap. You can afford it. And the minute I changed and turned that around or whatever, my success went through the roof. Just a little advice. I didn't cuss him out. You know what I'm saying? I done tell Steve, well, fuck you. I'm finna go, I'm not gonna do the show then. What?
So his success went up once he sold his soul. Basically, that's what he's saying. In all sense and purposes, once he sold his soul, that's when his success went uphill.
Opening up for the kings of comedy.
So you opened up for the kings of comedy. Wow, whoopee-doo.
And then I end up with this syndicated radio show because of that one decision to be respectful and obedient. Respectful and obedient.
Wow, respectful and obedient. Like a good old slave. See, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have to say much. I just let him do the talking, and I just react to it. Crazy, right? It's like we're back at The Color Purple all over again. It's amazing. You have to be respectful and obedient to Rickey Smiley in order to be successful in life. You got to cut off your locks, you got to put on a suit, and you got to obey your master in order to be successful.
Yes, sir. But I thank God for my granddaddy, because what my granddaddy taught me was discipline and respect. And when you have discipline and respect, you're gonna go farther. So this the video, because it was just too much to type. So this the video in response to what I last posted. Anybody give you an opportunity and you want the opportunity, whatever they require you to do to get your foot in the door, then do it.
That's a good question. Kimberly said, Rickey, are you obedient to the Most High, keeping the commandments? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure he's not. Right? Let's get back to the tapes.
Then do it. Anybody turn down an opportunity of a lifetime, it's fucking crazy. I said what I said, and get mad at me. I can't wait till this damn next book come out. When this next book come out, they out with shit. It don't matter, because half of them don't fuck with me anyway. But when this next book come out or whatever, I want to thank all of my family members for the content. Thank you so much for the content.
Thank you to his family members for all of the content. Are y'all paying attention? In other words, the family members that's giving him pushback, that's talking about him, he said, thank you all for the content. Do you see this? It's all about content. This is crazy, y'all. It's all about clout and social media.
Next book is going to be great. Because it is what it is. And I don't make nothing up.
So he's using everything that's going on with the family to write books. This is amazing.
I just reported.
Wow. So let me get it. You just reported. So you're a news reporter. Oh, so let me get this straight. It's okay for Rickey Smiley to report the news, but it's wrong for me to report the news, right? Oh, I get it. If I report the news, I'm not a journalist. I cannot do any investigative reporting, but Rickey Smiley can do his reporting. All right. It makes a lot of sense. Definitely right.
So I'm not stressed out about it. Hey, you can't make nobody want nothing better than you. And I don't care what you say about me, because all my shows sold out.
Hey, I haven't heard that word in a long time. Yo, who's this? Hurricane Hayes says Smiley is a dweeb. I haven't heard the word dweeb in a long time. Yo, the last time I heard the word dweeb was when I was in junior high school, and some Caucasian guys, because I went to an all-white junior high and high school. And when I was in junior high, I remember some Caucasian guy says, "You're a dweeb, man. You're a dweeb." I was looking at some of my buddies on the side. I was like, what in the world's a dweeb? It just sounded offensive, like, you're a dweeb. So I had to ask one of the guys. I was like, what is a dweeb? Oh, it's a moron. I'm like, what is a moron? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because all of those guys were Italian. You know what I mean? Like, he's an effing dweeb, man. He's a moron. Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony, I try to talk to him, man. He don't listen to me, man. I take him to the pizzeria. He don't listen to me. Yo, this is crazy, man. I don't want to start doing my voices, man, because, you know, once I start that, man, it don't stop. I'll go into 20 different voices, man. But anyway, let's get back to this, man. Let's go.
Weekend, my outfit hanging up. I'm about to go down here and get my ass on stage and get these jokes. I just got off work and driving down to Houston. So
he just got off of work and he's driving down to Houston to do some comedy or whatever the case is. Okay.
All good. But just remember, everybody provides you an opportunity. Humble yourself. Shut up, do what the folks ask you to do, get your foot in the door, become successful, and then sag your pants or wear your Air Force One.
So let me get this straight. You're literally saying publicly that once you get your foot in the door, then you could go back out and sag your pants? So you're encouraging young men to sag their pants. This is not making any sense. You're telling your nephew he's not presentable because he got locks, but now you're saying, get your foot in the door first, then you can go grow your locks, sag your pants, and be what? I don't get it. This is not a good look, fam. You're basically encouraging the dysfunction.
Or grow your dreads, or get your rims, or get whatever you want to do, but get your foot in the door first.
Wow.
Trust me on that one. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.
Anyway, y'all, that's what we got for you. Hope everybody enjoyed the stream. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right? We provide you with the best commentary and criticism on YouTube. There is no one else that does a better job. We are number one in the game, providing you logical, detailed information, very informative and detailed, to crack the case, to make you see what you were unable to see. And it's very apparent that Rickey Smiley had a lot to do with the death of Bird, due to pressuring him to cut off his locks, change his way in order to get a job. The man probably was down and out, struggling, unable to find himself, and he had to change who he was as a man in order to please another man. And this is pretty much, in my opinion, a hazing ritual. And it sent this young brother into depression to the point where he popped pills and he's gone. And now we have Brandon Smiley that also passed away due to the same thing. Pressured by the father to be successful, pressured by the father to live a certain way, and it caused him to die as well. And we still don't have any autopsy reports on Brandon. We still don't have no information. Sad, sad, sad. So that's what we got for you today. Peace and blessings to the mods in the building, chat, everybody in the clouds. Shout out to V-Dub-Man for the continued support on the Cash App. Appreciate you, brother. You always been supporting. You always been there. You know what I'm saying? Always been looking out. Appreciate you, fam. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be back in the morning with more. We have a lot of information that we got to talk about, a lot of things we got to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe today. Make sure you click that notification bell for all so that you can be notified when I go live or when I upload videos. It's very important. And before you leave, do me a favor and click that like button so we could at least get to 1,000 likes. So after the show, we are at 1,000 likes. It's very good for the algorithm. Likes don't cost you not $1. If you learn something in the stream and you appreciate it, it's the best you can do, right? Click the like button. I mean, hey, it's the least thing you can do. So that being said, I'll catch you all in the morning. Y'all be safe out there. RIP to this brother, Bird. RIP to Brandon. It's unfortunate that these men died and nobody cares. Nobody don't care about talking about how they died or to prevent these type of things from happening again. And it's very evident and clear that the generational curse in Smiley's family has not been broken. So there's going to be another death. I don't know who, but I have my thoughts based on the evidence at hand. I think we all know who may be next, but I don't want to put any sort of words on him because death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So that's why I'm just not saying anything, because if I say something, it's going to have a lot of power behind it. So I'm going to leave it alone. It is what it is. You know, we'll keep you posted. So that being said, y'all have a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Ringo TV Reactions. It is what it is. Thanks for coming out to the stream. We'll catch you in the next one. Ringo TV Reactions. I'm out, you fam. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.